Hello, Durud and Shalom, and Ola.
Hola, hola. How you doing?
Good, good. President Trump just came up with a lot of new statements that are relevant to the current situation with Iran. So I saw a few of them, but I haven't seen all of them. But I did want to go through them with you guys and see if we could get an understanding of how things are going based on these new statements. Um, Guys, in the chat, please keep the comments coming because I want to see what you guys are thinking and saying as well. Trying to make sure that I interact with you guys as well. So I'm going to have my phone right next to me so I could glance at your comments as well. But yeah, let's just jump right into this most recent comments by President Trump and see how things are going before we go to our comments.
I don't trust Iran. Why? Are you saying I trust Iran? I'm the last person that trusts Iran. They've lied to me constantly. We have total control over the Hormuz Strait right now. They don't have control. We have total control. We own it. And at some point, maybe they'll do something and then they get blown away. But right now, we're in a very good position. We have a country that has been the bully of the Middle East for 50 years. It's really 51 if you think about it, right? We've been saying 47 for 4 years. And they're no longer the bully of the Middle East. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, so two issues. So first of all, a lot of people are going to push back against this and say, well, if you don't trust them, why are we negotiating with them? And I know there's a lot of responses to that, but I just want to put them out there. And there's that. And then another thing is 51 years. 51 years, it's not 51 years, it's 48 years. And 3 years that has been added to the 48 years is some Iranians are getting concerned because that's when Mohammad Reza Shah started pushing back against, that was the end, that the last 3 years of Mohammad Reza Shah's rule in Iran. And those were the years where Mohammad Reza Shah was starting to push back against some of America's demands. And are they saying, some people are concerned that why is he saying, is this him just not knowing the years? Or is he saying 51 years because he's also against, even Pahlavi not completely giving in to Americans' demands? And maybe that's why. Again, this is reading too much into it, in my opinion, but I'm just going to say what some people are saying. I'm just reporting on it. And again, guys, I understand people are sensitive about these topics, and it's understandable. And that's why people are looking into this, because some people are saying, why hasn't Trump supported Pahlavi? And him saying 51 instead of 48, a lot of people are looking into it and saying that maybe he's anti-Pahlavi as well. And that's why he was trying to do a Venezuela model in Iran instead of supporting Pahlavi. He was not doing 5D chess psychological war games when he said, because remember earlier when people asked him about Pahlavi, he said he's a good guy, but we prefer somebody from within. And by that, he meant somebody from within the Islamic Republic, because he saw that it worked with Venezuela. And he probably wanted to do the same thing that worked in Venezuela with somebody like Ghalibaf, not realizing that Iran and Venezuela are not the same. That's what people are saying right now. That's the analysis that some people are having. So I just wanted to put that out there and see what you guys think about it. Oh, and Monkey just went blacked out. I don't know why. I'll put him. I'll put the monkey down. I'll put the monkey down until I see him not being black. But what do you guys think? Okay, Shauna just got here. Casey just got here. Amir just got here. Okay, so guys, I don't know if you heard what I just said, but that's it. Oh, there we
Can
go.
you hear me?
Monkey's back. Yes, but you're black.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have to turn the light off. Okay, let me turn the lights back
okay,
on. Oh, that's better.
okay.
Yes. I have a question about this. When did the mullahs and particularly the IRGC, the Ayatollah start gaining ground and pushing on Pahlavi? Is it 51 years? of
No.
like anti. Well, I'll give you a better defining point. When were the country, because he's a business guy, when did the nationalization happen?
Oh, the Mossadegh
Yeah, when did that happen?
was way before.
Okay, then I don't understand.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah, I don't
you
understand.
have Vance and Giuliani pushing Mac.
Yeah, there you go. That could be it. That could be. Oh, see,
That's about as
Shauna's saying
retarded
that.
as a separatist,
Mhm.
right?
Oh yeah, I mean, they're a communist Islamic cult, so it doesn't get worse than that. That's actually worse than the Islamic Republic. And Shauna's saying that's what I think, Armin. I think he wanted a Venezuela model. Monkey, do you think that there is that President Trump looked at his success with Venezuela and he thought like he was so impressed by how successful that was, and that's why with Iran he also thought that this could work with Iran as well. We'll just get somebody from within the regime to work with us instead of completely toppling the regime, and that's a cleaner way to do it, and it worked in Venezuela, so why can't it work with Iran?
I can't tell what he would have wanted at the start, but if you still believe that now, I think he's retarded.
Do you think now is it possible that now he just wants out? He's tired of this and he's just like, let's just get out. Is that possible?
To be honest, I would just ask him, what do you mean 51? Are you against the Mohammed Reza Shah, Nixon's friend? The guy that was on our side? What are you talking about 51 years? That's what I would ask him.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Why, like, these reporters are not doing their job properly? Like, why are they not asking that?
Maybe they are against maybe they agree with that timeline, so they won't question it.
I don't think they even know. I think they're not as aware. But yeah.
You think they're like a deer in the headlights when he said that? They're like, what?
Yeah. I think these people just come up with pre-prepared questions and they don't know their history and they're just like, let me just knock out these questions. They're not as aware.
We had an example of that yesterday, right? Where the guy asked, oh, they're about to attack. What are you talking about? They're about to do what now? I don't know. That's just what they say. They're not very prepared.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Funson is saying, don't forget to like the stream. Thank you, Funson, for having our back like that. I see so many people in our chat reminding other people to like the stream. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And also, Ancient Anderson just got us a GOAT trophy. Guys, the GOAT trophy is pretty awesome. Every time somebody gets that, it looks pretty good.
Now, the real question is, do you get it or does your GOAT get it? I know he's around there somewhere.
Yeah, he's.
Oh my God, he's got a little trophy. You can share one for you, one for him.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh, somebody's saying. Oh, Nika is saying, Armin, don't forget to show them the video. Yes, thank you, Nika. I'm gonna show them. So look at this. Nika is telling me in Persian that Armin showed them that video from Ghani. Okay, Nika, I had some other videos that I had to. What is it? But because Nika is asking me to show this other video, I'm gonna do that first. Okay, so you guys know Ghani. He's the head of the Quds force of the IRGC. He's basically the replacement of Qasem Soleimani, right? So on the Persian show that we just had, we played a video of his recent speech, and I mentioned on the Persian show, like, oh, I need to show this on the English channel because it demonstrates that what I'm telling you guys is the truth. Because remember, guys, I keep telling you guys that the goal of the Islamic Republic is global invasion, like global takeover, right? And people think that we're making this stuff up, like, and we're exaggerating these things. I'm like, no, we're not exaggerating these things. We grew up in Iran, and this was told to us like all the time in our school, on our TV, on the walls, everywhere, all the time. I told you guys that the Islamic Republic is revolutionary. Why would they be revolutionary? Why are they revolutionary? The revolution is over. The revolution was supposed to be over in 1979 when you toppled the government that you have a revolution against. Why are you still revolutionary? You're revolutionary. So think about IRGC. Okay, when I have IRGC, remember what the I stands for and what the R stands for. The I does not stand for Iran. The I stands for Islam, and the R stands for revolutionary. What is the revolution against? People think the revolution was against Pahlavi. The revolution was not against Pahlavi because Pahlavi it fell and the revolution continues. The revolution is against the Western global order. The Western global order. And the reason why the Islam part is important is because people think Islam is just a religion. Islam is a world order. Islam is a world order, so that means that it's not in competition with Christianity, atheism, Hinduism, Judaism, Buddhism. That's not what it's in competition with. Islam is a world order, so that means it's in competition against the current world order, which is the Western world order, or like Enlightenment world order, or the classical liberal values, what they call Western imperialism. The same world order that dominated the world started with the American Revolution, not the French Revolution, with the American Revolution, and then took over the West after World War II and took over the world after the Cold War. The current nation state model that is dominant all around the world. And these values are not necessarily dominant everywhere, but it's basically the framework is dominant everywhere, all around the world. That's what they want to dismantle. That's the whole point. So Pahlavi was an extension of that global order. So they had to destroy Pahlavi, remove Pahlavi to gain Iran and spend Iran to then remove Israel because Pahlavi was in their way. So they remove Pahlavi, take Iran, spend Iran. Now Israel is in their way. They need to remove Israel to take over the Middle East and North Africa, to spend the resources of Middle East and North Africa, to then now go for the final boss, which is America, as the head of the current global order. That's the goal. People think we're making this up. People keep thinking that we're making this stuff up. So this is why videos like this is important when they come up, for us to show you this so that you know that we're not speaking out of our asses. Like, we know what we're talking about. This is fresh. This is new. You want to say something?
I think you gave me a cold. It was the internet monkey hug or something. No, my question was about the 51 years. Like, would let me from the IRGC perspective, right? I understand that these people are revolutionary.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the. This is going to be its own segment. So let's go back to the 51 years after I play this video, okay? Because that was the previous segment. So let me play this. Yes. Yeah. No, that's okay. That's okay. So let me just play this and translate it to you, and then we'll go to your question. No worries, monkey.
مسیری که شهدا طی می‌کردند همه هدف‌های مقطعی بوده.
Like all the martyrs, their goals that they had, the goals were temporarily goals, like goals, short-term goals for a longer-term goal. Right?
اگر یک روزی شعار برادران ما در دوره دفاع مقدس رسیدن به کربلا بود، کربلا هدف نهایی نبود، هدف واسط بود.
So he's saying that when we were doing the 8-year war with Saddam, if one of our chants was that Karbala, that we're going to capture Karbala is in Iraq. Karbala was not our final goal.
Covering his face.
Our final goal. So it was our. Yes. Hold on. I lost my chain of thought.
Karbala was our final goal?
Okay. So, no, I'll remember. You don't need to help me. Okay, let me go back a little bit. All right, let me play this again. Let me go play this again.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
اگر یک روزی شعار برادران ما در دوره دفاع مقدس رسیدن به کربلا بود.
Yeah, so he's saying during the 8-year war with Saddam, if our chance was to capture Karbala was a city in Iraq, so capture parts of Iraq, that was our intermediary goal. It's not our final, it wasn't our final goal.
کربلا هدف نهایی نبود، هدف واسط بود. امروز اگر
So because that during the 8-year war, the goal was to liberate Jerusalem. So Karbala was the intermediary goal, and now he's saying today
شعار رسیدن
به قدس شریف هست که به حول و قوه الهی انشاءالله میرسیم.
So he's saying today, if we chant that our goal is to reach Jerusalem, so guys, liberating Jerusalem is the chant that they have today. And liberating Jerusalem means basically toppling Israel, like destroying Israel and liberating all of, basically making all of it Palestine and invading Israel, and basically it's a call for genocide, right? So he's saying today, if our chant is that we're going to reach Jerusalem,
شریف هست که به حول و قوه الهی انشاءالله میرسیم، باز
and God willing, we will reach Jerusalem one
این
day.
هم هدف مقطعی هست.
This is also reaching Jerusalem is also an intermediate goal. Like it's not our final goal.
هدف نهایی ما در این مرحله از عملیات
Our final goal at this stage of our operations
رسیدن به حکومت جهانی حضرت مهدی و رسیدن به محضر مبارک امام زمان سلام الله علیه است.
is to reach the global governance of the Mahdi. So basically, our final goal is to get global dominance and basically get a global governance of the world with the Mahdi, and to also reach the Mahdi at some point. So he's saying that all of our goals are like our short-term goals. The ultimate goal is global takeover of the Mahdi's government. That's what he's saying, right? So what do you think? This
Well, this
yeah.
one went over to.
Why is it not pausing? Sorry. Go ahead.
My question about this: they are more immediate than the Sunnis, or is this just like state-sponsored ISIS? Is this basically it's like ISIS wanted this for the Sunni? They wanted a worldwide caliphate, and these people want a
Right.
worldwide Mahdi government. Is this basically similar? Because it's also a problem with Islam.
Yes.
But when you look at the actors, some actors want immediate and action-based results, and some are like, maybe someday. Is that the take? Like the dangers of Islam is within the extremist, well, they're all extremists, but within the Sunni ISIS types and within the Shia Mahdi lovers do it now types?
Yeah, so 4 groups of people wanted this. 4 groups of people wanted to destroy the Western global order and bring their own global order in its place, right? And 3 of them failed already, and I don't think there's a chance for them to redo it again. And this is the last one that is still trying. So the 4 groups are the communists, and the Cold War defeated that. And I don't think they have a chance of coming back. They're still a threat. They're still a very destructive force, but they're not going to take over the globe. But that was the goal of the communists, right? Global order. Then it was the Pan-Arabists. They were defeated by Israel with Jamal Abdel Nasser. They were trying to create an Arab empire. They failed. Then it was the Sunnis. After the fall of the Ottoman Empire, they tried to bring their empire back and create a force against the Western global order.
Would we call this Wahhabis?
They come in different forms, right?
They're
like
mixed.
It's
Okay.
Wahhabis, is Muslim Brotherhood. They come in so many different forms, right? And the last attempt that we saw of reviving that was with ISIS. And with the fall of ISIS, there is no serious push for that anymore. Like all of the heads of Sunni Islamic countries have completely submitted to the current nation state model. And instead of trying to do global domination, they're just trying to win the game of nation states rather than winning the game of empires. So even Arab Sunni leaders are not interested in, I mean, technically, Erdogan in Turkey, he's trying to bring back the Ottoman Empire, but good luck with that. And he doesn't have, I don't think he's going to be able to do global domination. But the main push for that was ISIS, and they failed. So there is no serious hope by Sunnis right now. There is no group right now that Sunnis could are behind to try to bring the caliphate back. So that was the third one. With the fall of ISIS, those hopes and dreams kind of withered away. The main one right now is the Shia one, under the leadership of the Islamic Republic, global domination, and the return of the Mahdi. They're not looking for a caliphate. Caliphate is a Sunni thing. They're looking for the imamate. So we have Ummah. Ummah is the Muslim community around the world. And then we have the leadership of the Ummah, which the Sunnis think it should be a caliphate. But the Shias think that the leadership of the Ummah, which is the global Muslim community, should be done by an imamate. But fundamentally, the software, the DNA of both of them requires eventual global domination. But there is no serious Sunni force right now that is able to push for that. That's why even some Sunnis kind of are started supporting the Islamic Republic, because they were hoping that the Islamic Republic could push for that against the West. But this is the fourth phase of creating a global empire against the West. And if this fails, it's basically over. And then we're going to go to the more, the current, China and Russia, or the better saying CCP and Putin. They're trying to win the nation state model game rather than creating a whole new model. But it's the Islamic Republic that is trying to completely, if you're playing Monopoly, the CCP, like if you're playing a board game with the CCP and the Putin, they're trying to, Putin is also trying to bring back an empire, but given that he's losing in Ukraine, people don't think that's serious as well. So I guess if there's a fifth one that is trying to bring empire back, that would be Putin. But CCP is trying to win in the currently already existing model that there is. Does that make sense?
I think those two have so many internal struggles and internal divisions that the IRGC is a little bit set apart, because despite all their internal divisions, they're all basically hardliners. So I put it in a different category. There is a part of what you're saying about this this movement that doesn't get discussed a lot, right? People say it's the iron fist in the silk glove, but the silk glove is places like Nair, and the Senate is talking about their influence. They're talking about making it relative to the mafia, so that we had wider discovery and wider police powers over them. Also, like the Senate, the House hearings on un-American activities, mistakenly called the McCarthy hearings. Senator McCarthy can't have a House hearing; it's a different body. But they want to put it in that category where they're acting like, look, these people are a mob. When the communists came and infiltrated, they operated like a mob. The mob operated like a mob. We need to treat Nair like a mob. They've been infiltrating since 1993, and we need more. We need to use the laws that we already created against the mob on Nair. Would you say that it is very important to understand their influence and funding arm, because this is another form of jihad?
What do you mean? This is definitely jihad, but what do you mean another form of jihad?
The influence operations, teaching the children that
Oh
the
yes,
United
for
States
sure.
deserved 9/11.
Oh yes,
that
yes,
we
yes,
d-
yes. They call
Okay.
yes. They they even have a name for it. I forgot the name, but they call it something jihad. Jihad. I forgot what it's called, but it has a specific name for it. Yes, but you're 100% right. And okay, let me see. We got Agent Anderson celebrating 4 months of membership, saying "Durud, everyone." Thank you, Agent Anderson, and thank you for being a member for 4 months. And then you start this by Nika. Nika saying Armin Sapas Damet Gam. So Nika is saying Armin, thank you, good job, thank you, Nika. Merci Damet Gam, Nika. Thank you for highlighting that, Monkey. And Fit Over 50 just gave us 10 joules. Thank you so much, Fit Over 50. And Auntie K is like, it's Auntie K first today. Yes, you are the first super chat today. And thank you so much. Thank you for always having us back. Thank you, Auntie K. That's very sweet.
Now, with my
okay, let's go
previous
to
question,
the
with my previous question, I was
Oh,
holding
yes,
one
go
back.
ahead.
Let me ask you something. If you're negotiating with the RIGC And you're saying 47 years. You're saying, well, I mean, what are you pro Pahlavi? What do you mean 47 years? Are you trying to bring back Pahlavi? Why aren't you saying you guys had problem with Reza? Or why aren't you including it? Why are you only taking it back to my administration? Wouldn't you say that you've had resistance here everywhere? Because when you say 47 years, you're being very specific to me. Like if you want to negotiate, you can't be saying that because every time you say that, you're showing favoritism. Would the Islamic Republic take that as being specific about them, and not being general about all the rule? Because like, okay, so let me ask you something. After the nationalization, did Reza reverse that?
Okay, so I'll answer this, and then we'll go to the next statement by President Trump. I don't, the Islamic Republic already assumes that America was pro Pahlavi, and United States is just the enemy of the Islamic Republic. So that wouldn't be, and even and I wouldn't worry about how they perceive things anyways, because like we shouldn't tiptoe around their feelings anyways. But no, that wouldn't be their reaction, because from their perspective, Pahlavi was a puppet of the imperialist West, and United States is an enemy of the Islamic Republic and only the enemy of the Islamic Republic. That's their perspective.
Okay, then it's just retarded.
Yeah, come. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I was looking for a little wiggle room, but there is none.
Yeah. Right. There is not. Yeah. Somebody should ask him. Though. You're right about that. Fun Son with a goat trophy. Thank you so much. I love the goat trophy. It looks really cool in the chat. When I have my phone in front of me so I can see it. Thank you, Fun Son. I appreciate you guys. Okay, let's see what President Trump says here.
Well, this one went over to England, where it was shown to.
Wait, let me see what the context here is. President Trump still says that the Qatari Air Force One was flown ahead because soldiers at the base wanted to see it. Okay, that's not important. Let's go to this one. Oh, okay. You know what happened regarding the threats to President Trump, right? So we talked about it yesterday. So we already know that when President Trump was coming back from Turkey to United States, he switched planes from the Qatari plane to the plane that was traditionally he uses as Air Force One, because they said that there were threats against the President Trump by the Islamic Republic, and the Qatari plane was not safe. Yesterday we learned that was not even he didn't actually go. He like once he switched planes to the traditional Air Force One plane, he actually secretly left the plane out of the view of the reporters through a food cart. They put him in the food cart. Him and some core team members basically went into the cart that they take the food in and out, and he went in there, and secretly they transferred him into a military plane. So there was two switches from the Qatari plane to the traditional Air Force One plane, and then secretly, without the reporters could see, from the Air Force One plane to the military plane through a food cart. And then the reporters on the traditional Air Force One plane thought that the president is on the plane with them. And then when they landed in the United States, they then transferred the president secretly back into the Air Force One plane. And then he came out, the reporters got out, and he came down the stairs from Air Force One thinking that he was on that plane all the time, but he was not. He was on this military plane. So this demonstrates that the threats were very, very serious by the Islamic Republic against President Trump's plane. And it was actually a state-sponsored plan to take down the plane that President Trump was on. And this was just a report yesterday, but President Trump also confirmed it today that this was what's happening. I don't know, guys, did you know about this? Let me know in the chat, because this is a big deal. So let me actually play this. Let me see if this is about that. Any kind of, yeah, okay, let me see what he's saying. Starters.
I have a lot of threats. I have a lot of threats that you don't know about. Any consequential president has a lot of threats. Non-consequential presidents don't get threatened. And I think that I'm maybe the most consequential president. There's nobody who's done more than me in a period of almost 6 years. There's nobody. I have a
Okay, so some people are looking at this and seeing that this is a sign of strength of United States being able to really being really good at getting this intelligence. They got this intelligence from the Israelis, by the way. The Israelis told the Americans that this is happening. And they were like, some people are like, oh wow, that was a very clever way of protecting the president. Good job, everybody. Some people are looking at this and they're frustrated. And they're saying, why is President Trump still dealing with the Islamic Republic, given that this is the level of threat that the president has to be dealing with? Like, they're saying that this is humiliating, that you have to go through a food cart to switch planes and just end them already. Why, if they are this much of a threat to you, why are you even giving them enough recognition and legitimacy by negotiating with them? What do you think, Monkey?
I mean, don't don't threaten me with a good time. I want him to go bomb them. I want him to stop negotiating. Like, yeah, of course. Yes. Why negotiate with them? Yes, they're terrorists. Yes, they're making threats. Yes, they'll try to make good on them. I don't like the only difference between us is that I can't say I like Trump, he's the best president we've ever had, and also say I don't know why he's doing this shit and it sounds retarded. Like I can do both.
You could, yeah. I get that. It takes somebody that is not tribal or black and white, that does black and white thinking, to be able to have both of those positions. So I admire you for saying that. Some people are saying that comparing President Trump to President Bush, not everything on President Bush, but at least on one thing. And they're saying, like, look, President Bush threatened Saddam and his sons once, right? He said that leave Iraq in 48 hours or we will come and topple the regime. And then they didn't leave. And for exactly 48 hours later, President Bush did what he said he would do. And he toppled, and the Americans went into Iraq. But then they compare that to President Trump. They say President Trump so far has promised to attack the Islamic Republic 10 times if they don't do certain things. And all 10 times, the Islamic Republic didn't do those things, and nothing happened. 10 times. So they're comparing Bush threatening Iraq, Saddam once, and then within 48 hours, he delivered on the promise, delivered on his threat. But President Trump so far has done it 10 times, and nothing has happened. Do you think that's a fair comparison? And if not, why not?
I don't think that's fair.
Mm.
I don't think that's fair. I think that gives too much credit to Trump. Like it's like the situation. Like Trump has a lot more reason to do what Bush did and hasn't. Like
Can you
if
elaborate?
anything, I would frame it far worse. They've attacked everyone around them. They've attacked Israel. They had the nuclear weapons. Like Saddam at that point was less of a threat to global stability than Iran is now. These people, the IRGC needs
That's
to
a
get
good
its
point.
shit pushed in.
Okay,
need
so
to get
you're
fucked
saying
hard.
that, okay. Okay, so wouldn't that mean that then? Okay, so that would support the argument that President Trump should be doing something even more than Bush.
Yes.
So you're actually okay.
Like Bush had even less of a reason and did it. Why is he pussyfooting around so much?
Oh.
If you compare the
Okay.
situation that we have with Iran now, or even like at the time when they had about enough for 9 to 11 warheads, and you compare that to the situation when I think it was Colin Powell was saying, "Oh, they have mobile centrifuges in little buses," and if you look at those two situations, who is more likely to do devastation across all of the region? Saddam wasn't as much as a threat as the IRGC is, and Bush didn't pussyfoot around it, right? So if anything, that gives too much. Like Bush didn't have that. Like I agree that something had to be done about Saddam, but these people are even worse. So I can't do a fair like we have the same situation now. Saddam was less of a threat, and we like went all in on him. We should have been all in on this guy, but I don't know why. Because he's a business guy. He's not like into that. Like at least Bush, he was in the military for 5 seconds. Maybe he gets it. And this guy has been a Democrat his whole life. Like his whole life. If you look at the percentage of his life, he's been a Democrat. What, like 80% of it? So he's too soft. At the time when Democrats were becoming full socialists and had power over Twitter and were canceling everybody during woke 1 and woke 2, right? When the Democrats had all power, have consumed all power, right? Well, he was like a bull in a china shop, necessary. But right now, he's being a pussy little Democrat.
Somebody's Adam in the chat is saying perhaps we should patiently wait for November. What do you think about that?
You're welcome to do that. But if I am asked, I'm not going to go protest against Trump. I'm not going to vote against Trump. I'm not going to tell anyone to vote against Trump. I'm not going to tell anyone to vote against his candidates. But if I am asked to give an honest observation, that is my honest observation.
Yeah, but you are again, but you're against waiting till November. You think that it's not a good idea, right?
I think we cannot open the strait. I think maybe you can keep a status quo until after November, meaning you keep the strait closed. I think the problem we have right now is that the strait is closed, but that doesn't mean the no ships are going into Iran's harbors. I would stop any trade that goes from any country within the Persian Gulf to Iran. I would ratchet that up immediately, and any boat that dares enter any Iranian port gets bombed. Not just bombed like we're going to shut your engine, because that means that the cargo arrives. If you're willing to sacrifice the boat, the cargo still arrives. No. Sink the ship way before it gets to the harbor, so everything in it ends up at the bottom of the ocean. So no boat dares even go because, okay, we're going to have to get on a life raft and the shipment isn't going to get there.
Okay. And Koala Katie saying, why are we acting like everything is already over? So Koala Katie is saying, like, we haven't seen what the United States is going to do yet. We're judging as if it's over already.
No, I'm not judging as it's already over. I'm giving an assessment of his words. What do you mean acting like it's already over? I'm not bending over and say, come and fuck me, IRGC. It's over. Let's vote for the Democrats. Don't even bother voting. What is this? I'm acting like it's over. Describe anything in what I'm saying or doing that is acting like we have to give up.
And Shana is saying, I'm with Monkey on this one. And
he has to understand that this type of rhetoric is unacceptable. Like he could have said so many words that aren't that. He could have said, we have a plan. We're standing by it. Now is not the time to attack. We can't reveal our military plans. And what are you going to do? How are you going to argue with that?
Okay. Freedom here is saying Trump will listen to Qatar like a good boy. What do you say to that?
I don't know. I don't know that he's listening to Qatar. I don't know who he's listening to. Listening to Qatar would be a bad idea. But what does Qatar want?
Qatar wants.
Why would I think he's listening to Qatar?
Because of the financial benefits, because of the plane, because of the financial ties that his family has to Qatar. That's what people think.
He's an old billionaire. Like Bill, he wants more. Like people who don't have a lot of money think that a billionaire cares about a couple more 100 million.
Monkey, you're
Like he's not gonna sell out
Monkey's
his
getting
whole country.
robot.
Me? Hello?
Yeah, you're getting
You hear me?
robot, guys. Is it just me? Is it just for me or for yeah? Is it just like guys in the chat? Write it down. Is Monkey getting roboty for you guys, or is it just me?
Everything seems fine on my end.
Okay, you're good now.
Like what I was saying, people who don't have a lot of money or have a medium amount of money think that a billionaire cares about more money. Like, yeah, they want more money, but not as much as they want stability. And if you put in a framework that creates instability, they'd rather spend money to keep things stable. And they would like get more money and then the whole system falls apart. Okay, I get more money and then the IRGC gets more power, they get a nuke, and then my money's worth what? Because all prices are through the roof. I could get like let's say you bribe me with 2 billion now, right? And then I allow the IRGC to take over the strait, and that billion, like the cost of everything goes up so astronomically, and there's so much instability in all the markets that the 2 billion that I got is worth nothing. Like that's just a misunderstanding of how money works and stability in the markets.
All right. I just want to quickly say this, and we don't have to argue this forever. But one thing I know about many billionaires is that it's never enough, and that's the reason why I became a billionaire. Is because they had the mentality that it will never be enough. That's how they get rich. But
well, okay.
we'll
one
see.
last thing: every billionaire funds into stability.
Yes. Yeah, and again from the perspective of many of these Arab countries in the region, stability for them, again, I disagree with them and Monkey disagrees with them. The current military operations with the Islamic Republic is causing instability. So they want it to be over. But again, that is going to be, that might bring you short-term stability, but with the Islamic Republic in power, that brings you long-term instability, if that's what they're calculating. And a piece of good news that we got a super chat because of it from Noah saying, but actually, I don't know if this is good news because maybe we want the DSA to win in the primary so that they could lose in the general. So Noah is celebrating this, saying DSA lost in Wisconsin governor primary last night. So I just looked this up, and yes, Wisconsin Democrats chose moderate David Crowley over DSA back. That Korean commie Francisca Hong in a tight primary election. This was yesterday. Crowley now moves forward. Crowley now moves forward as a Democratic nominee for governor in the critical midterm swing state. So is this a good thing or a bad thing? Didn't we want the DSA to win so that they could lose in the midterms?
I can tell you how it's a good thing and how it's a bad thing. It's a good thing in that it is more likely more Democrats are starting to side with the SAVE Act. Like this is a governor. It's not a senator. But the more governors that are for the SAVE Act and support the SAVE Act, and the more senators and congressmen that support the SAVE Act, the better chances that it can be passed in that small window. So that's kind of a positive there. And the other thing that's going on here, because any cheating would be in favor of the DSA candidates. So if they're against cheating, they're against the DSA. The bad thing is you're absolutely right. This person will have a higher chance to win in the primary.
Yeah, so that's the bad part, unfortunately. Let me actually close some windows because I think my computer is freezing. But here, guys, let's get an, what I told you about President Trump, the security stuff. Let me actually get a quick update for you guys so you guys know what happened.
Welcome back. President Trump says the U.S. has total control over the Strait of Hormuz.
It comes as new details emerge over the reported Iranian threat on the president's life while he was at the NATO summit in Turkey. Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst joins us live in Tel Aviv with those details. Hi, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. It's a story that has captured the world attention this week, a threat against President Trump's life in Turkey last month. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that it was Israeli intelligence that tipped off the administration about this specific danger. The report explains the sourcing on this information, saying the U.S. official said Israel briefed the Trump administration on the intelligence, which included a threat to use shoulder-to-air missiles to target Air Force One. Now, ultimately, the president was moved from Air Force One to another plane using a catering truck, according to initial reports. The story comes as indirect negotiations continue with Iran.
Look at that. That President Trump is in that. This is a video. President Trump was in this catering truck over there.
The story comes as indirect negotiations continue with Iran aimed at opening the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump explained overnight that he doesn't trust the Iranian regime.
I'm the last person to trust Iran. They've lied to me constantly. We have total control over the Hormuz Strait right now. They don't have control. We have total control. We own it. Right now, we're in a very good position. We have a country that has been the bully of the Middle East for 50 years. And they're no longer the bully of the Middle East.
All right, so
That's 50,
anti-Israelis,
not 51.
yeah, anti-Israelis are talking about this assassination attempt, and I think you guys are now experts of. You should know what they're going to say, right? You guys know what they're going to say.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So, guys, what was the source of the intelligence that Trump is going to get assassinated? It was Israel. So the Jews made up an assassination by the Islamic Republic. The Islamic Republic doesn't want to assassinate President Trump. The Jews are making it up so that they could get President Trump to escalate military operations against Islamic Republic. Obviously, that's going to be the narrative. So let's see.
Today, Trump was in Ohio at the Patriot Games, which is something I believe the government's putting on for young people. And during the event, the Air Force actually intercepted an aircraft which was flying in restricted airspace over the games. And this is the fourth aircraft in the past month where this has happened. There were 3 aircraft intercepted by the Air Force in Bedminster, New Jersey over Trump's golf course in July. I don't like it. I don't like any of this. I don't like that people are talking about Trump getting assassinated. I don't like that the Air Force is launching flares, trying to divert aircraft from above Trump's golf course and the Patriot Games. Because what it's looking and sounding an awful lot like is predictive programming. That's what it looks and sounds like. And I know that's conspiracy talk. I know that's speculative, but that's what it looks like. It looks like they're getting ready to drone strike Trump. I believe that's what it looks like. It's either going to be a missile. It's going to be a one-way attack.
Wow. So he's actually saying that they're creating the narrative that the Islamic Republic is about to attack President Trump, and then they are going to do it themselves. I bet you they're saying that Israel is going to assassinate President Trump themselves to then get the United States to, I don't know, maybe drop a nuke on the Iran. That's what they're going to say.
It's getting ridiculous. I couldn't help but laugh for a second. I had to stop myself. It's getting pretty ridiculous.
Don't stop yourself. You know, if you have to laugh, just keep your mic open. It is ridiculous. Yeah.
Drone. They're going to take them out, and then they're going to blame it on Iran. And Iran is going to deny it. And then they're going to say, well, it was a rogue element in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard that didn't want peace. The moderates like Pezeshkian and the others were betraying the revolution by making a peace agreement with the United States without getting everything they wanted. And so those so-called hardliners in the IRGC, to draw the United States further into the conflict and keep the war going, took a shot. And who knows, maybe it'll be successful, maybe it won't be. That's what it looks and sounds like to me. I get very, very uncomfortable. I feel very disturbed when I hear these rumblings, when I hear whispers of assassination plot. Because like I said, what that looks and sounds like to me is they are priming the pump. They've done it before. They seed the idea in the unconscious or the public consciousness so that it resides there in your mind. And then when the unthinkable happens, we call upon the memory, and it's not so unthinkable.
Okay,
Oh,
we
well, they
stop a
were
second?
saying, oh, yeah.
There's
When
only
it
5
happens,
more
when
seconds.
it happens, people
Okay.
will say, oh, yeah, well, it's those Iranians. They've been trying to kill Trump since 24. I read about that in the Times. I saw that on the nightly news. They've done.
All right, go ahead. Let's finish.
What is he talking about when he said they've done it before? Like they've tried to assassinate Trump before? They've seeded an idea and then it did an attack themselves? What is she talking about?
He's talking about Israelis killing JFK, of course. That's what they think.
Is that what he thinks?
Oh,
yeah. I've heard that on the left, but I haven't heard him specifically.
Oh,
like that might be a fair mistake for him. I did not know that. Okay.
Yes.
There's a lot of anti-Semites that don't go that far. I thought he was maybe one of these, allegedly high IQ, though that's a low bar anti-Semite. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. No. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If he thinks that, if that's what he's hinting at,
he
can go to an extreme when it's very long ago. Hard to prove.
They think JFK was standing up against Israel, and that's why he had to be removed. That's what they think.
But then the files were released, and the only thing they had about Israel is that they tried to help.
Obviously they're full of crap.
Never let facts get in the way of a good conspiracy theory, right?
True. My concern is that something might actually happen to President Trump because, and then these people are going to come and say it was Israel, when it happens.
Look, that would be the best case scenario if you think Trump advance won't retaliate.
No, but yeah, they're going to retaliate, but they're going to think that these people are going to be like, this is exactly what Israel planned for attacking President Trump and then making it seem like it was the Islamic Republic. And then the United States is going to retaliate hard against the Islamic Republic. And Israel is going to get its way one way or another. That's what they say. That's what they think.
So like a sacrificial president?
Yep. And it's going to be JFK all over again. So JFK wasn't cooperating with Israel and they removed him. Trump is now, Israel is trying everything they want, everything they can to get Trump to go all out against the Islamic Republic. And so far, as far as he did, they worked with him. But eventually, if he doesn't go all out, then they're just going to remove him and use his death as a way to get the remaining part of the United States to just do their job.
Okay.
One way or another, Israel gets what they want. That's what they think. I know. So, of course. Yeah, you know what it is? It's an unfalsifiable claim in there, because if whatever you say, like, how could this be true? Like, if you keep giving them facts, they will come up with stories as a way to make it an unfalsifiable claim. Like, there is no arguing with these people.
I'm with Comrade Shifty here.
Yes. You want to read it? Comrade Shifty, what he's saying?
Comrade Shifty says, Fuentes goes full Candace Owens. This is low even for him. Yes, I'm with you, and I love your profile picture here.
Comrade Shifty is the only communist that we like. Okay, because it's a cat.
I wonder if that's
only
Chairman
it's
Meow.
A fluffy cat. Okay, if communists come in. Yes, this is the only way that we can tolerate communism, if they come in forms of fluffy cats. Yes, I know. Oh, it's anti-commie. Okay, it's anti-commie. Okay, even better then. It's even better. Okay, that's funny. Oh, we got Shauna with a super chat saying they always do what they blame us Israel. They always do what they blame US and Israel of doing. He is the one planting false thoughts and planting subversion ideas. Yes. He's saying like, oh my God, yes, Shana. He's saying like they're doing these things so that they plant this in your mind. So when it happens, you think that, okay, it was Islamic Republic. But he's doing exactly what he's blaming the Israelis on. He's planting this in your mind so that when and if an assassination happens on President Trump, he already planted this false thoughts, people thinking that it was Israel. Israel did it. You're right, Shana. This is
When this happens subconsciously, they call it projection, like he's projecting himself onto other people. Like some people, they have these thoughts in their head and they say, you're thinking this and this and this. No. This is what you're thinking. Don't project on me. But he's consciously projecting. He's consciously doing it. I don't think he's doing it accidentally. It is a form of projection, though.
Right.
Malicious, purposeful projection of your ideas on another.
Okay, so here's a question that reporters ask President Trump. They ask him, like, okay, so if you switch planes, the reporters were still on the plane that was in danger. So they were saying, like, they asked him, like, how come if it was dangerous for you and you you went on the military plane, what about the reporters? Wasn't it dangerous for them? So let's see how he responds to that.
And I have to do what they say. Well, I don't know. I think actually the plane that I flew on was at greater risk. I think it was at greater risk because that would be the plane I think that they would be more likely to go for.
Okay, so the reporter asked, why was it too dangerous for you to fly on Air Force One, but not for the press? And President Trump saying, the plane, okay, I don't know. I think actually the plane that I flew on was at a greater risk because that would be the plane they would be more likely to go for. So, I mean, if they knew which plane President Trump is on, he's right. But I thought the whole point of switching is for the people on the ground not knowing which plane President Trump is on. But he's right if they could figure it out.
I think this is a lot of self-interest because that's still White House staff, that's still Secret Service staff, that's still U.S. Air Force pilots that would be harmed and coming into harm's way. I mean, it's not like they're flying the plane. Like it's not just reporters in there. That's a self-aggrandizement. Like the only people that matter, like the help doesn't matter. The only people that matter are the reporters and the president. It doesn't matter if the help dies. What if we die? It's such a self-entitled, classist. Oh my God, it's profoundly self-interested. It's disgusting.
But
I hate it.
let's be honest. The president is more important, and saving him should be the priority.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Secret Service, their job is to protect the president, not the press. So,
But like the people flying with a big target are also the pilots, is also the staff. They have to be there all the time. They have to be there even when the press is not. And the press acting like that they were the only ones being, perhaps sacrificed in this play is disgusting. This shows that they see themselves above the staff.
True. That's a good point. Yes. They're complaining about the president being mattering more than them, but they're talking as if they matter more than anyone else. That's a good observation, Monkey.
They matter more than the staff, the help. Oh my God.
Okay, so the next video, somebody asked President Trump about the 2028 hat that he had on his Trump 2028, because people are like, oh no, he's going to run for a third term. I mean, that was a joke. I think, like, I thought everybody knows that was a joke. But let's see what President Trump's response. Here, let me see the caption. Reporter, you put a 2028 Trump hat. Are you serious about a third term? Okay, that's crazy. That was obviously a joke, but let me.
You mentioned 2028 several times in the last few weeks. At the dinner, you put on a Trump 2028 hat. Are you serious about taking a third term?
Everybody asks me that question, and you know that the law is very strong on that. I'd love to run, but the law is very strong. I get asked by even tonight, they're screaming at the event, 2028. No, everybody wants me to do it, but the law is very strong.
Is that a no?
Thank you.
mentioned 2028.
So I mean, that was an obvious joke, wasn't it?
It was kind of an obvious joke. Some people like to make they like to waffle around it, but by keeping it up in the air, one of the things that you achieve is taking heat off Vance and Rubio. Because you don't have to worry about the press being after their presidential things if everybody's asking Trump about his presidential aspirations. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
If you make the press, bug out about you maybe running again in 2028, they're not going to go ask Rubio and Vance if they're running.
I thought it was just a joke that people are taking too seriously, but I might be wrong.
Well, right now is one of the first times he said he didn't say definitely, but he said the law is very strong on that. I haven't heard him say that before. He's always jokingly not denied that he would. I would mark this as a shift, as a more definite no than I've heard before.
Right. Oh, we got a super chat by Erickson saying, so Israel wants Vance? What does it say about him? That's a good point. Yeah.
I think he hates Vance.
Yes. No, like if he's like they're in response to the Nick Fuentes conspiracy theory, like, oh yeah, they want to assassinate President Trump. But that would bring a Vance presidency. I don't think Israel would like that. But again, if
he would say they're forced to retaliate anyway.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say that. Nick Fuentes would say, like, even if Vance is president, if you kill the president, that's going to force the United States to retaliate, even with a Vance presidency. Exactly. But interesting thought, Erickson. Thank you. Okay, so look at this. Mark Levin is talking about again, saying yes, it's past time. Arm the Iranian people. I really appreciate Mark Levin saying that. Let me actually repost this. And he shared this video that is talking about arming the Iranian people. It's getting more and more common for people to talk about arming the Iranian people. So let's see what they're saying here.
I mean, it's a good point because, we've been saying since day one, we've had all these guests come on night after night saying, well, what does it take to actually get some of the citizens to stand up and try to go after the IRGC? Is the economy a tipping point?
So, Trace, here's where I'm at with that, because this is a really, really important question. Economic pressure takes away the regime's money, but internal resistance is what drives that sense of control. You cannot, in my opinion, simply apply economic pressure. I agree with General Keane. I agree with Colonel Howe. However, my contention is that it's time to start thinking about covert action. What do I mean by that specifically, Colonel? I mean that it's time to start honestly thinking about training and arming the multiple resistance groups within Iran in order to be able to use the time for the economic pressure that's going to start to degrade the besieged. They're going to start running out of money. It's just a question of months. But what are we going to do with that time block? It's time to start arming. It's going to disagree with me with man-pads for taking out helicopters, but I'm talking about crates of RPGs. Right. Talking about crates of Kalashnikov rifles. I'm talking about training packages from U.S. Green Berets.
Drones.
Nobody does it better than them in the world. Trace, you got to use.
Oh, Green Berets, yes, drones with the Ukrainians.
Man-pads for taking out helicopters, but I'm talking about crates of RPGs. Right. Talking about crates of Kalashnikov rifles. I'm talking about training packages from U.S. Green Berets. Nobody does it better than them in the world. Trace, you got to use that time to start building the resistance within Iran.
Let's give them 10 seconds. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a good idea. And actually, covert action always works best when it's aligned with overt policy. This isn't out of alignment. This is one of those times. Look, there's been plenty of times where it hasn't been aligned. In this case, it is clearly aligned. We can do that. By the way, we can do that. Israel's very good at doing that too, and we're both in this thing. So I think this is the time to do that.
And Ukraine could help as well with their drones and the training, like they did in Syria. I love this that they're talking about this more. This is getting more and more. Like we have been talking about this for ages. We had a campaign on this that Mark Levin even highlighted. And now it's becoming more and more common to talk about this. I think like something must be happening with these analysts and these influential people in Washington, D.C. that they're talking about it more. Do you think like we're heading to that direction for this to become policy?
It is a possibility. Like if you started now, by the time the elections are over, you'd have a pretty sizable force, and it would be enough to time to train.
Oh my God, I hope so. I don't know if they're going to do it that fast, but
Well,
so.
I mean, if we start right now, we're basically August, September, October, November, December. That's 4 months. I mean, you could definitely do something. I don't know if you could look, I know Jeff would scoff at this idea, but you could get it started. You could get enough in there so you could, at least take over some places and start further training. If you start in about 4 months. He would hate that idea. Like what we did with the Contras was not good because they weren't well trained. I wonder what he thinks
why
about
would
this.
Yeah, we should ask him. Hopefully he's in the group call later today.
Yes.
Okay. Look at this. Here, let's go to this one. Oh, Monkey, I have your favorite.
No.
You know what I'm going to show?
No. God damn it. God damn it. I knew it was going to be him. I knew it.
Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry, Monkey. Sorry.
Sharia laws never existed. It's never been.
What did I just hear this person? Did this guy just say Sharia law never existed?
Hang on. Yes, it did.
Hang on. Wow.
Sharia laws never existed. It's never been illegal. You never had Sharia law. The bills were passed in order to whip up a moral panic in the United States around 2011, 2012, 2013. And the reason they were pushed by the time the Tea Party type Republicans was to whip up a moral panic about a non-existent issue. That was the problem. And that's what they did.
But there are now, in the UK alone, there are now between 80 and 100 unofficial Sharia law courts, right? And the reason I asked you is
what the hell?
You're a high profile gay man. And as you know, Sharia law, specifically amongst many things, prohibits same-sex sexual acts. What do you feel about that?
It doesn't just prohibit it. The punishment for it is execution. Yeah.
I'm profoundly confused. Here's this kind of going against Sharia and hiding out the problem that it is in the UK. What is going on here?
He always does that. That's why he's a dangerous person. Okay, so here's the thing. Piers Morgan is against Sharia stuff. It's against trans stuff with children. It's against trans stuff in sports, and that so a lot of people think like he has good positions, and then all of a sudden he hits you with his horrible position. So he has a lot of on many things. He sometimes says things that you find reasonable, and that's what makes him more dangerous, because on the most important things he has the worst takes.
Then he hits you with the hang on.
Yes. Yes.
I see.
But again, Piers, look, you're a very intelligent guy, and you know perfectly well that the claims of Sharia law existing in Britain in any legally enforced way at all is non-existent. It doesn't exist. There is no.
Okay, so this is what this guy either doesn't get or is pretending not to get. He's saying it doesn't exist legally. Yeah, that's the problem. It's a parallel system to your legal structure. Like, nobody's claiming that the Sharia is being enforced by the UK government. It's being enforced separate from the UK government. It's a parallel society. Like, look at this. Look at this, what he's saying here.
But again, Piers, look, you're a very intelligent guy, and you know perfectly well that the claims of Sharia law existing in Britain in any legally enforced way at all.
Legally enforced way by the UK government. Yes, there is no legally enforced way of Sharia by the UK government. They have their own separate enforcement mechanism.
Is non-existent. It doesn't exist. There is no Sharia law. You have Sharia courts, But
you do have Sharia law. You do have Sharia courts. They call it Sharia councils. They don't call it courts because that would get them into legal trouble. So they use a different vocabulary.
Have, other communities that you have, again, within communities. For example, you have a Jewish police kind of force within North London. That's not, it doesn't.
No, you do. If you do that, you should not.
For example, you have a Jewish police kind of force within North London. That's not.
Do we have a Jewish police force within North London? Do we have that? I've never heard of that. Let me see. Do we have a Jewish?
I've heard about ambulances,
specific
but not
Jewish
that.
police force in North London? And if you do, you should not. There should be. There shouldn't be. Yep. Let me see.
Have you heard about their medical force?
Yeah, medical is fine.
I agree to it also.
No. Because having your own medical force, that doesn't mean that you have a parallel legal structure. Okay, so North London has a voluntary Jewish neighborhood watch patrols called Shomrim, but no official Jewish police force. Okay, so do these patrols, are they just maintaining security, or do they have a legal code that they're enforcing Jewish laws with? If they're just patrolling the neighborhood for security, you could have security, you could have private security. That's fine. But do they have Jewish laws that are being enforced by these patrol that is separate from the laws of the land? Let me actually check that. Are they enforcing Jewish laws that is separate from UK laws? I'll double check that as well. Because that's the problem with the Muslim communities. You could have security, you could have private security, as long as it's just security, like against people who are...
Especially at temple.
Yeah, because having security doesn't mean... Having a security doesn't mean... if especially Jewish communities need to hire security because of Muslims. Okay, so no, Jewish laws are not enforced separately in North London. Okay, so no. So that's a false analogy. This guy is using a false analogy.
Not only
Jews having
that,
security is not a separate legal system. But yeah, go on.
most security forces are going to be under, unless you're doing it like specifically Jewish security force, probably have like an anti-discriminatory framework. So you would not be able to have a security force that had no Muslims that could then basically lay out the security routine for the temple for it to be better breached by having inside information. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And also Casey is pointing out that the fucking police there aren't protecting the Jews. So yeah, what are they supposed to do? They need to create their own security system. They're not what they're not doing is they're not enforcing. They don't have an enforcement tool that is using the threat of violence to enforce Jewish laws. That's not what they're doing. Okay, and if they were doing that, that would be creating a parallel legal system separately from the laws of the land, which is an act of insurrection. It's an invasion from within.
And to be clear, it doesn't have legal. They're not doing it to their community or to another community. I think in Islam they do it to their community, but sometimes they have that kind of stuff in the shops too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Actually, so the Jews are not doing that. The Muslims are doing that in the UK, and they're enforcing it on their Muslim community, and they're also enforcing it on non-Muslims. For example, you can't bring alcohol to their area. Okay, and if a girl shows up with shorts in that area, there's going to be a backlash against that girl. Like you can't walk around in our neighborhood like this, as if they own that area. So like they're enforcing that on non-Muslims as well.
I've seen some horrible things, and this might be very upsetting to you because you have like almost family member like this. They start attacking people's dogs.
Yeah, I saw.
That's so fucked up because the dog isn't believe in any religion. They love humans.
The dog is the devil, according to Islam. apparently. All right, let's continue with this.
Kind of force within North London. That's not, it doesn't have legal powers on the same level as the police. It's a community patrolling organization which doesn't have those legal powers. Sharia courts, which manage, for example, family disputes and other such matters, that's what they actually do in practice in Britain. They don't have, they're not enforcing anti-gay laws. That doesn't exist in Britain. And you know, I speak to queer Muslims, and I think, which I think is quite important to do because they were raised from the conversation, and they feel often deeply frustrated that in a country where anti-Muslim prejudice and bigotry has got worse and worse and worse, is that their kind of plight, if you like, or their position is weaponized not by people who want to advance LGBTQ rights, but people who want to demonize Muslims as a whole. And obviously, I want queer Muslims to be able to come out and be their true selves. Of course, I support that. I want anyone who's LGBTQ to come out and be their true selves. But there's no Sharia law in Britain. Which is banning gay people.
Owen should walk into Gaza. He should walk into Gaza.
How would I do that?
I am a gay man.
How would I do that?
Say, I am a gay man. See how you're treated.
I've been to the West.
You will get murdered. You will get murdered by the very people that you are on this show and apparently wrote a whole book defending.
Just on.
You know, what he's not admitting is that on per capita basis, there's so much more aggression and violence and demonization of LGBT in the Muslim community compared to anyone else. Like, that's what they should be asking him. Like, do you deny that? Like, do you deny this reality? Because
I'd like
this
to
is
point something out.
undeniable. Yeah.
He's saying that his frustration is that the queer Muslims' frustration is that the only people that support gay rights for Muslim people are the right, not the left. He basically outed himself because these left-wing people are not in favor of Muslim people, because when it comes to the identity pyramid, Muslim is over gay. So we don't care if you're gay. We're going to get the Muslims stay on top and bash you. That's he's like tacitly admitting. Remember what he said. One of the main complaints amongst the closeted gay Muslims is that they only get support from the right. They never get support. This is what he said. He never gets support from the people that claim to defend LGBT. Because when it comes to a left-winger defending LGBT, if they have to defend Islam or LGBT, they'll defend Islam because there's more of them and they fight harder.
Yeah.
Just on that, I support the Palestinian people and I support their right to exist.
Who want to kill you?
That doesn't mean what the Palestinian people. There we go. This is the problem.
You know that, right?
We're going back again to the genocidal mentality you have, because you have a view of the Palestinian
mentality
population
of the
as a whole.
Islamists of
What's
Hamas who
happened
want
to
to murder
LGBTQ
gay men like
Palestinians in Gaza?
Yeah, they want to kill you. Why is who has it's the Muslim community that has the genocide mentality. What are you talking about?
Gaza is the same as what's happened to straight Palestinians. LGBT people in Gaza have been blown up by Israeli missiles. Their homes have been destroyed. Their relatives have been killed. They have been deprived of medical care. They've been reduced to living in tents.
LGBT people in Gaza do not get to be LGBT because the Hamas and everybody else there will probably kill them before any missiles could reach them. Israeli missiles and drones have been trying to avoid civilians, and they have been avoiding them more effectively than any other army in the history of modern warfare.
And they have been starved. That's what's happened to LGBT.
They haven't been starved. The people in Gaza haven't been starved. Israel has moved more calories into Gaza than anybody has ever moved calories into any war ever. Any area being impacted by war has never received more calories inside it more than Gaza, and that's Israel has managed to do that. The only reason why some people don't get as much access to food in Gaza, and it hasn't caused starvation or famine, it has caused some level of malnutrition in children, like around 1%, but not starvation or famine. And the only reason why that happens is because Hamas steals the food and tries to sell it triple the price back to the people in Gaza. The food that Israel got into Gaza so that it could be free for the people in Gaza, Hamas steals it and sells it back to the people in Gaza triple the price. Go on.
This is the trick. This is the trick. This is why Piers isn't intervening, because this was supposed to be a discussion about Sharia law in UK. He's effectively turned it into a conversation about Gaza. And this guy fell for his own trip because he brought up Palestine. Okay, so now we're not talking about the UK anymore. Why don't you talk about what's going to happen if a woman decides, look, I was married off at a young age. I was married off at 16 because that's allowed in UK. And my family married me off at 16 within the UK laws. Now by this Sharia court, I can't become a lesbian. What am I supposed to do about that? That Sharia court is not going to back me in the UK. And the UK laws aren't helping me to stop this Sharia court. That's a discussion about Sharia in the UK. The second we allow either one of these two turn the conversation into Palestine and Gaza, look at the, oh my God, it's like he's touching himself under the desk. Look at the joy on this man's face. Like, oh yeah, let's not talk about UK Sharia. Like I got my virtue signal point for bringing it up. Now I'm going to step away and make this about Gaza.
Okay. By the way, I saw we have a super chat from Shana, but I'll read it after we finish this video.
They have been deprived of medical care, they have been reduced to living in tents, and they have been starved. That's what's happened to LGBTQ
And Hamas
people.
They haven't been starved. They haven't been starved. You're full of crap. People in Gaza have more food than the people in Iran.
In Gaza. And the idea, if you
each and
speak to queer
every single civilian
Palestinians, they are so
casualty in
angry
Gaza,
about the
of
fact
which there are
that
historically
if you speak to a
shockingly
queer
few, actually.
Palestinian, you will hear their fury that they are being used to
How many
pinkwash a genocide.
quote-unquote queer Palestinian Arabs have you
What
spoken to
happens
on
to
the show?
LGBTQ Palestinians is not in any
Can
way
you stop
a
bloviating and answer my
justification
question?
for wiping out an entire territory. And it is
That's not
offensive
what
to
they
say.
They didn't wipe out an entire territory. People, there's more people in Gaza than we had in at the beginning. After October 7th, there were less people in Gaza than there are today. The population of Gaza has grown since October 7th.
Hey, we've already
The
been over this.
LGBTQ people
We've
should
literally been
support
over this.
wiping Gaza from the face
Even
of the earth.
peers agree that they are
because
not
that will advance LGBT.
They didn't wipe out the Gaza from the face of the earth. If they wanted to do that, they could do that in one afternoon, and they never. It's really easy for Israel to do that, and they haven't done that, and they don't want to do that.
LGBTQ rights. It's
not doing
ridiculous.
it.
Do you think this is about LGBTQ rights? What's happened to Gaza? Do you think that?
I didn't even hear your dumb question. What was it?
I said, do you think that Gaza being wiped off the face of the earth has been done to advance the cause of LGBT?
Gaza has not been wiped out the face of the earth. What the hell? What world do you live in? Gaza's population is more than ever before, more than the beginning of all of this. When did people in Gaza have more food than people in Sudan, Syria, Iran, and Yemen? So what are you talking about? But
I'd like to point out two things. Number one, as far as I know, people from other nations that were sent, other Muslim nations that were sent on humanitarian aid missions to Hamas came back saying, they live better than we do. Why are we sending them money? Why are we sending them aid? They live better than we do over here in, I don't know, Azerbaijan, Syria, wherever it was. Like, I remember the report. I don't remember these specific countries, but countries sent to Hamas to aid with the Hamas plight came out saying these people live better than we do. This might have been before the war, but they have said that these people live better than we do. Why are we giving why is my state giving my taxes to these people? That's number one. Number two, did you notice that Piers removed himself from the conversation, abandoned the point of Sharia in the UK, and left these two to argue about Gaza?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. He's not on the screen anymore. Good point.
Palestinians. Is that what you believe? Do you believe that?
Okay. Gaza has not been wiped off the face of the earth.
85% of its buildings.
Wait, why are you asking the question? He's answering you. He didn't even finish like 3 words before you interrupted.
Gaza has not been wiped off the face of the earth.
85% of its buildings.
For starters.
85%.
Second of all, I don't particularly care because the goal of the Operation Gaza is to eliminate Hamas. Whatever happens to the quote-unquote LGBT cause is neither here nor there.
So why talk about LGBTQ people if you don't care about them? I know you don't care about us. I know you don't care about LGBTQ Palestinians.
Organization
but what's
that wants to
offensive
murder
is
you.
just
And it's a little weird.
My God. It's honestly, these people are not even worth talking to. Sometimes. They're just so far gone from all of this. We still need to respond to them in case there are people who are starting to fall for their garbage. But anyways,
But
we got a super. Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, like, the whole point of that was peers getting to step in, say, wait a minute, we do have a Sharia court in UK problem, letting it become about Palestine and Gaza. Did you see the face of like ecstasy that he had when it was the guy that's supposed to be arguing, against UK laws in Sharia laws in UK, got off track to the Gaza Palestine debate? He just closed his eyes, had a look like he was touching himself under the desk, and then stepped back so he could fap in privacy and let them go at each other with no mediation.
Okay, don't be gross, okay, monkey. Let me go to.
Hey, you put Pierce on. It's gross just from looking at him.
Yeah, don't be sexually gross, okay? That's what is good. Okay, Shauna with the super chat. Thank you, Shauna, saying Victor Davis Hansen also recently called for Trump to do a heavy strike now because we want to cut them off from the possibility of doing an attack as an October surprise. We should strike, then arm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Shauna, I agree with this. We should
The
strike
October surprise be boom booms.
Yeah. Because we want to cut them off from the possibility of doing an attack as an October surprise. You know that Victor Davis Hansen, he has also been very good at, so he's also the one who came up with the idea that President Trump should recognize the government in exile by Prince Pahlavi. So I like this guy. Who's this guy? Because I didn't know about him, and now everything he says seems to be on point. Yeah, but I like him. I don't know who he is, but like recent videos and
Seems
things
great.
of him, I like him. Yeah. All right, and then we got Vidur. Thank you so much for the super chat, saying they don't have legal power. You bloody idiot! These people do not care. They find a way to subvert it either way, and scum like you are helping them. Exactly. They don't have legal power. Like, oh, okay, let's not enforce our Sharia because because legally our Sharia is not being recognized by the government. Like, as if that's going to stop them. Vidu, you know what that sounds like? And like, if I say like, hey, drug cartels are a big problem in Mexico, and somebody says like, no, they're not. No, they're not. Didn't you know that drug crime is illegal in Mexico? Didn't you know that having a drug cartel goes against the law in Mexico? That's what guys, doesn't that what that sounds like? When we say there's Sharia courts in UK and Sharia is being enforced in the UK, these people say like, nope, because that's not legal. There is no, what they're doing is not the law. And like, it's basically like saying drug cartels are not a problem in Mexico because it's not legal.
There's no robberies. There's no shoplifting because that's not legal. Did you know that?
Didn't you know that's not the law? Wow. Okay. Thank you. That's a good point. Yes. And then Fit Over 50, thank you so much for the jewels. 10 jewels. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Let's see what General how do you say his name? Keen? Because there's a General Kane and then there's a General Keen. And we have to make
He's
sure
about
we
to
don't
say
mix
it.
them up. Yeah, okay, you're right.
But, for our viewers to understand here, the president's airplane flies in an air defense bubble the entire time. And that aircraft is absolutely protected wherever that bubble is. But if they had a credible threat and a plan, they're not going to take the chance to wait on that air defense bubble. And they did, obviously, the intelligent thing and move the president off the plane itself.
Yeah, but
that plane obviously still flew in that air defense bubble and was protected.
Yes, understood.
But they likely disrupted this plan. But, for our viewers to understand.
Okay. So there's that, but here's something more interesting. Aaron, you had something to say about that? Because this is
How did they disrupt the plan? Like if if everyone that thought that the air president was in that plane was going to attack that plane, and the plane didn't attack, that would mean that the person that was leaking the president's location knew that the president moved locations. And that's why the attack didn't go, because he wasn't there. That means that the leak is very high up, because it would have to be someone that knew that the president moved locations. That's why sometimes you have to allow an attack, because you don't want the person to know. This is something that happened in World War II with Enigma. Like, we couldn't let them know that we had the codes, so we had to allow some attacks to happen and not warn the people that were getting attacked, because if we warned the people that were getting attacked, they would know that we know the code. You understand? If the leaker that was giving away the president's information knew that he changed planes and that's why the attack didn't go ahead, that says that the leak was very high up. Do you understand what I'm getting at here?
Yeah. That's kind of well, how seriously are we going to be taking this? Do you think that this is all real? Because that would be very concerning if that's the case.
Like, Jeff is in the chat right now. Like, what do you think, Jeff? Like, if you move the president and the attack that was going stops, that would tell me that the person that leaked where the president was knew that they moved it. Like, that would be my guess. Like, why else wouldn't the attack go ahead? High up staffer, yeah, someone very high up. I would be very, it's worrying. I hope they got fired, whoever that is. You got to put all that staff that knew on timeout.
Okay, well, listen to this now. This is the complaint that people are having regarding the reporters.
I mean, you know, you hear Trump on the final leg home from this trip saying to reporters, knowing that they had flown on the decoy plane that was under an imminent threat and that he had not, right? He says, quote, "If I go, you go," right? You know, what do you even, how haunting is that statement, given what we know now, as you look at all this whole thing that was pulled off with catering trucks?
Well, it's obviously not true. If I go, you go. That's not what happened. In fact, it was a bait and switch. He put people in harm's way to save himself. That's who Donald Trump is. And he's willing to put our troops in harm's way in the war in Iran, even though he shouldn't have done that in the first place. He's also somebody who obviously, I mean, he slinked away literally in a catering truck while the reporters and his own staff were on a plane that apparently was under threat.
You know, yeah, at his own staff. I mean, it is pretty incredible. And then not only, Governor, that, right?
I don't understand what you want them to do. Move all the reporters and the catering staff? Wouldn't that make the enemy know where the president is?
Well,
Like,
you
what
would have
you-
to do it that way if you want to find out who's leaking, because the person who's leaking would have to do it at that point, at that moment, say, call it off. Then you would be able to look at the electronics of everyone and see who sent out a message. I mean, that message could just be one dot. You could send one dot, like the period at the end of the sentence, to a specific number. And if you see a comma, that means go ahead. If you see a dot, that means stop. He's not there.
But even if we don't have a leak or anything like that, I'm just saying that just like if there's a threat against President Trump and you're secretly moving him to a military plane, you can't just move everybody, because then everybody would know like where the president is. And then they're going to target where the president is. Obviously, the priority should be like, are these people amazed that the priority should be saving the president? Is that what
they hate the president?
They made a point of showing him board Air Force One, so everybody saw him do it. So everybody believed, the reporters believed he was on the plane. But then when he got off the plane, they stuck him back on so he could walk off the plane. They're hoping that nobody would ever know this had happened. You know, I just want to be clear here. The New York Times reporting originally was extremely clear, right? It was that the imminent threat was to whatever plane Trump was believed to be flying on. So the White House made every effort for everyone on the planet to believe that the plane that Trump is on was the plane that all the reporters were on and his own staff was on, even though they took him off. Right? I mean, that's a fact of the situation. You know, how do you make sense of this? Do you think that anyone on that plane had the right to be briefed on this, even though they're not the primary security focus?
He did not need to put his
Have the right to be briefed on this? Like that would get leaked. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like tell everybody that what's happening? Like let the whole world know where the president is when he's under a direct threat of an attack, of an assassination? Have you lost your mind? Like you guys have, oh my God.
Not the primary security focus?
He did not need to put his staff and those reporters in harm's way. He literally could have warned them.
The Islamic Republic puts them in harm's way. What are you talking about? He didn't put them in harm's way.
Yeah, Jeffrey's commenting that would violate operational security. OPSEC.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Them and taken them off the flight. There were other ways to handle this, but instead he was okay with the idea that maybe that plane would be shot down, or maybe
What are the other ways to handle this? Explain. Like, what is the other way?
there was some other security threat to that aircraft. That's clearly what all of this indicates. He really doesn't give a darn about the people on that plane. Now,
It's not even his decision. He follows the Secret Service. When it comes to security, the president follows what the Secret Service tells him to do when it comes to his security. They're like, he
One
doesn't
second.
give a darn. They tell what? They tell him what he's supposed to do, and he does it.
I'm getting a
It's
call. I'll be
their
right back.
decision. You don't need to, you don't need to say that. It's okay. You always feel free.
I remember he was also slinking away and ending up on his new Qatar paid for and apparently personally received 747. That's, I mean, a total act of corruption. He's accepting money and gifts from foreign governments. This is at a moment when people can't afford food. People aren't going to have Medicaid to cover them, to give them health care. And he's taking all those things away from them. And meanwhile, we're all talking about this ruse and what he's doing to the people around him. We all ought to be focusing on what's best for the people of the United States, who are frankly under threat by Donald Trump and HR 1.
I mean, you know,
The United States is threatened by the Islamic Republic, who is trying to kill your president, and you're framing it as the United States being under the threat by the president that is being targeted. Like, where's your? I know you don't like President Trump, but a foreign entity has threatened to kill your president, and then you're acting like the president is a threat to your country. Like, even if you disagree with President Trump, wouldn't this be a moment for you guys to unite with each other against this foreign threat? Like, even if you have disagreements with your president, when a foreign entity is trying to kill your president, that is the time that you unite with your president, even if you don't like it, against that foreign entity. How, like, oh my God, these idiots.
They're traitors. They're not idiots.
Yeah, I know. It's just a figure of speech.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay, let me do some super chats and then I go. Okay, so Alexia saying, Havotu Daram. Havotu Daram is in Persian, means I have your back. Thank you, Alexia. Saying, I am in harm's way for saying, okay, well, don't say it then. Don't say the things that puts you in harm's way. Don't do the things that puts you in harm's way. Saying Payande Iran Javicha and Javicha. Alexia, if what you're doing is putting you in harm's way, then don't do it. Please take care of yourself. And then you start, yes. And Monkey, you start this comment.
Yes, Amu Jeff, Uncle Jeff is back. Always glad to see him. He says tactical ambiguity to confuse attackers. Yes, you're not going to say exactly where you are ever. That's like always a thing, always has been a thing. And if Obama was doing it, they wouldn't care. If Clinton was doing it, they wouldn't care. This is biased reporting by a biased reporter in a biased network. They hate America. They want to turn it into some socialist experiment, socialist dystopia, and they're just traitors. Thank you, Jeff.
True. Thank you, Jeff. I'm with Jeff. Alexia is saying, could I allow my friend to join us on school? Yeah, of course. Our school community is open to everybody. So just guys, this is our discussion group. Let me just show it on screen. Guys, we have daily calls every day. So everybody is free to join and come talk to us every day. And I'll put the link in the chat for everybody. The link is also in the QR code at the top left. The link is in the description. The link is also in the chat right now. And thank you, Alexia. Thank you.
Thanks for the promo.
Us. Yes. And okay, let's go over here. And then we have Shauna with the super chat saying, whoever this guy is, we need to primary him. Okay, yes.
He's the governor. I forget from where. Governor Pritzker.
Yeah. Yes.
Is Chicago? No, I don't remember.
Well, is he Republican or Democrat?
No. God, no.
God, no. Okay. All right. So then if he's a Democrat, then primarying him would mean that you guys have to go vote for the DSA candidate, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Okay, so don't do that. Just defeat him in the general, right? In the midterms, not in the primary. Or something. And thank you, Shana. Okay, let me actually see if Nick is saying here. I think he talks about this assassination threat a little bit more. I don't know if it's the same as the last video or if it's a different one, because I want you guys to be prepared for what these people are trying to prepare you for, so that we could do the opposite if something happens against President Trump.
Because what it's looking and sounding an awful lot like is predictive programming. That's what it looks and sounds like. And I know that's conspiracy talk. I know that's speculative, but that's what it looks like. It looks like they're getting ready to drone strike Trump.
Oh, yeah. That was the same video. Anyways, let's go look at this. This is General Reza Nagdi, a top advisor to the commander of IRGC in Iran. He warned that a nuclear escalation by President Donald Trump would lead to the occupation of U.S. military footholds worldwide. I don't know what that means. Let me actually listen to the Persian version, so if I could understand it better.
Many observers say Iran has put up a strong fight, but that America has one weapon that Iran doesn't, and that's a nuclear bomb. In your view, how likely is it for America to use a nuclear bomb?
Naturally, it can end up being a mistake for them. The morning after they use a bomb, all of America's military bases around the world will be occupied. Today, things are different than World War II. The people of the world have awakened. No one in the world will allow for such a crime to be committed, because the next time it could be themselves.
Okay, so Americans, if you use a nuclear bomb, then all your military bases are going to get occupied immediately after. So
he's fantasizing.
Opium.
He's high on that copium.
Wow. I don't know what world these people live in, but it's not the one.
Even Iranians don't believe this, right? Even the Durkas don't believe this, right?
Even the Durkas, many of the Durkas don't believe that. Not all of them, but many of them. Okay, let's look. Speaking of Iranians, look at Iranians here. So look at this. So it says this liberal pro-Palestine girl spots an Israeli flag at a peaceful Iranian gathering in London and completely loses it. She starts yelling and confronting everyone, but the Iranians put her in her place with "Damn Palestine," like chanting "Damn Palestine," totally embarrassing her. So let's look at what happened here. So she saw these Iranians are holding Israeli flags and she got offended. So this is the liberal girl who's offended that these Iranians are holding Israeli flag, and they're just telling her to get the hell out. Oh, you hear that? This Iranian said "fuck Islam." Some Iranian said "fuck Islam."
Fuck
Oh, they're saying "fuck Palestine." The Iranians are chanting "fuck Palestine." Wow, they're chanting "fuck Palestine, fuck Palestine."
You know what they're telling her? You know what they're telling her?
What?
They're not gonna fight you. You're not a man. There's 3 guys here, and the 3 of us are not gonna take on those 50 guys. So stop being entitled and walk away. Because you're not the one that's gonna take the lumps. It's gonna have to be us.
I like how she's like lecturing Middle Eastern people about Middle Eastern politics, thinking that she knows more than them. Yeah.
Yeah, public.
What is your problem? And what is your problem? And what is your problem?
Yeah,
And what is your problem? And what is your problem?
What's your problem?
And what is your problem?
What is your problem?
What's the boss?
Going back.
She's picking the fight, but she's not gonna fight. They're gonna have to fight, and they don't want to fight these guys.
Oh my god,
It's
the
like
guy who's recording just said, like, if you defend Islam, then F you. F your sister. Or like, look at her. She's coming half naked and she's defending Islam and Palestine while being half naked. Like she doesn't
have any idea what they would do to you.
Guys, look at this
happened to a
Iranian
woman that walked around there like that in Tehran. Like
Well,
she
I
might
mean-
last half an hour because it's a little bit more open-minded in Tehran. You told me about this yesterday, but you wouldn't last long in Tehran. You wouldn't last 5 minutes in a village.
Right. But look at this guys. Look at Iranians. Whenever they are gathering, they always have the Israeli flag. And this is what offends people.
I wonder where this is.
My God, I'm so proud
It
of
must be
them.
Europe or
It was
something like that, right?
Probably somewhere in London. London. It's
London. Oh, it is summer.
Yeah. My God, I'm so proud of them. Love these people.
I saw the sun and I'm like, well, it can't be UK. There's no sun in UK. It's just clouds and rain.
Dumb motherfucker with the super chat. Thank you so much, dumb motherfucker, for the super chat, saying that's a precedent I'm not okay with. No nukes. Yep, we don't want to normalize nukes. For sure.
Well, we kind of set that precedent like a little while ago. Like we
we
went there.
Okay. We went there. You know, actually, this might be controversial, but that actually saved more lives than it took.
Oh, absolutely. If we didn't have to do the bat bomb,
Yes.
that would have been
I
worse.
don't want- oh, yeah. Okay, let's look at this. I have no idea what we're walking into. Let's go talk about this Muslim guy trying to make it into Senate.
Football is very much associated with a particularly masculine and oftentimes toxically masculine culture.
What a beta. If your husband uses the term toxic masculinity, you have a wife, not a husband, especially if he's part of a culture that forces women to cover their hair and their bodies in order to be
Wait,
seen.
really? This Abdul Al Sayed guy, who is a Muslim, is talking about toxic masculinity while being a Muslim? Are you kidding me? If there was anything called toxic masculinity, you would see the highest amount of it in Islam. What the? Oh my God! I didn't even know this guy was so beta. Hold on.
Football is very much associated with a particularly masculine and oftentimes toxically masculine culture.
What a beta. If your husband uses the term toxic masculinity, you have a wife, not a husband, especially if he's part of a culture that forces women to cover their hair and their bodies in order to be seen as valuable. This is who the Democrats are running for Senate in Michigan. His father-in-law is part of the founding committee of the Islamic Society of North America, which is a group linked to Hamas and Muslim Brotherhood funding. A legit terror group whose stated goal is to eradicate the Western world from within. And he's the largest financial backer of this football-hating twat. But don't worry, if that doesn't convince you that this America-destroying jihadist has his own ties to the Muslim Brotherhood, this will. In college, she served as the VP of Muslim Students Association at the University of Michigan. MSA was founded by individuals with Brotherhood ties. During the Arab Spring in Egypt, he criticized the Obama administration for not working with the Muslim Brotherhood and described them as willing to compromise and downplayed fears that they would act like Hamas, which, they did, in fact, act like Hamas because they're a terror group. He defended them and still defends them to this day. Openly, by the way, has signed documentation saying that he supports. He's headlined fundraisers for Islamic Relief USA, also Muslim Brotherhood linked. He's accepted donations from people tied to CARE, also Muslim Brotherhood linked. And anytime you criticize him, he just says that it's Islamophobic. Okay. He's also openly called for Sharia law in the United States. This guy is quite literally telling us that he's a jihadist, and he's pretending like he's not because he is banking on the fact that the voter base is too stupid to understand. They have a stated goal to destroy the Western world from within. And if we vote him in, they will be closer to that stated goal. Please vote Mike Rogers if you're in Michigan.
Football
Mike Rogers is the person that you should be voting. Mike Rogers. Vote Mike Rogers. Who is this person? I like her. Okay. Thank you, lady.
Yeah, she's cool.
I like her.
Like if you would you retweet that? I don't know if
yes, of course.
Because I follow you, so I could find the retweet and follow her.
Yes. That was a good video. Let's do more.
She's also said it well. Like, she's well spoken. She was clear. Yeah. She kept it simple, but well spoken. I liked it.
Yeah, guys, I thank you, Monkey, for reminding me to retweet that. You could follow me on X if you guys want to see this video at Armin. Actually, I could just put the link in the chat. You could also follow me on X at Armin Navobi. I'll also post a link to this in the chat if you guys want to follow her and support her video. Okay, let's do more of this midterm stuff. And there is this Muslim guy.
You can almost hear a collective gasp across Michigan for all the things he spends time hating on. I mean, when I go back, I want to, make sure we're protecting our faith and our families and our factories and our freedoms, while he's advocating doing away with our fireworks, football, the 4th of July. This guy spent hours hating on what most Michiganders would enjoy in their pastimes, and he should be held to account for that. These are views that he held that he was pretty strong about, but he knew that he had to delete them all for if people really knew who he was, they wouldn't vote for him. So you're right. It's just a matter of making sure we have the resources and the people that are out there fighting what I think is the heart and soul of the country in this particular race. And so they can go to rogersforsenate.com and please join this fight. We're going to need you. America needs you in this particular fight. You can almost hear it.
Yeah, let me see. This is very important. Do we need to keep advertising this? Let me see if this is the same video or some.
Again, this isn't your dad's Democrat Party or your grandparents' Democrat Party. It has changed. Here's the good news, Sean. We're getting a lot of folks who are Democrats who are saying in the state, we can't do this. This can't be the direction of the state and the country. And they're joining on to the Rogers for Senate campaign. A lot of them go to rogersforsenate.com and hop on there and talk to us and get involved in the campaign. That's the good news. Again, this is.
Wait, is this him? Is this Mike Rogers who's speaking? Let me see if that looks like him.
Now, this is what I've been talking about. We have to make it too big to rig.
Yes,
we know that we have problems in the system. So I agree here. While Armin does some research, I just want to say, get out there and vote.
Yes. Yeah, this is him. Vote for this guy. Michigan. Don't let Islam take over your country. Go vote for Mike Rogers in Michigan.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Oh my God. Like, honestly, if he doesn't win, this is a huge leap towards Islamic takeover. Islam creeping into your country. Michigan. Let me see what the chances are. Michigan Senate. I don't know. What do you think the chances are that he's gonna win? The Mike
Better
Rogers
against a DSA candidate than a normal Democrat.
So should we be concerned or no?
We should always be concerned.
Okay, so here's the bad news and the good news. Okay, so the bad news is that there's two good news and one bad news. The bad news is that the Abdul El Sayed, his chances are now 60%. Okay, and Mike Rogers is like around 40%. So as of right now, Abdul El Sayed has a higher chance. That's the bad news. The good news is that we have so much time to change this. That's the good news number one. The good news number two is that the trend is in our favor. So you could see the difference used to be that Abdul El Sayed was 84% and Mike Rogers was like 15%. And now that gap is being reduced. So the trend is in our direction. So hopefully this gap closes.
Yes.
Yeah, guys, this is one of the most. Do you agree for the midterms that this is one of the most important ones to pay attention to? Like, this is the most important one to win.
It would be a flip, right? It's already in the hands of blue. If they go so commie that it flips red, that gives us more power to pass the SAVE Act. It gives us more power across a lot of things.
True. Ted Cruz posted this. Oh wait, let me see what got it. Oh, you start this comment. Do you want to read this before we go to the next comment?
Yes, Jeffrey is telling us that dropping a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki saved 1 million Allied lives. This is we're going to get into the rest of it further. 1 million Allied lives and more millions of Japanese lives due to the Imperial Japan's junta government goal to fight to the last child. Like, this is,
yes,
they were almost Dirk-alike in their willingness to sacrifice everyone.
True.
So, and there's also the bat bomb. People don't know about the bat bomb. The bat bomb was worse than H-bomb.
All right, let's go back to the midterms. Ted Cruz posted this saying, when they tell you who they are, believe them. And then he posted this video. I have no idea what this video is, but let's see what Ted Cruz is. highlighting here for us.
So I got to grow up watching Rashida be an elected official. All right. So Rashida's like my older sister. Every time I make a mistake, I just get the text message. It's like very much older sister energy. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You're right.
No, you don't have to apologize. I care enough.
Well, no, but the point that I'm making is what better joy and appreciation than to have somebody who's looking out for you, who's been there before. So I got to.
This is like so gross. Let me see. Abdullah Sayed on Democrat Socialist, Rashida Tlaib. Rashida's like my older sister. Every time I make a mistake, I get the text message. She's like very much the older sister energy. So yeah, I mean, I already assumed that these people are completely in line. So I don't know what exactly new information we're getting here.
Have you ever seen her? Like in the hearings?
Oh yeah, she's horrible. She's pro-Palestine more than anyone else I've seen.
She's just an asshole too. Like she's yelling and changing the subject, won't let people answer. It's so bad. I watched her this morning.
Really? See, you torture yourself even when I'm not torturing you with these videos.
Yeah, but it was a hearing on the Brotherhood, Muslim Brotherhood. I had to know what's up.
So, still, you do watch these. Let me see. This Hassan Parker saying it doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th. Let me.
Yeah, he said that.
He said that,
and he said that the babies are also colonizers. So that the baby settlers are also colonizers, and they also need to go.
Okay, let me play this.
Some of what he actually has said about the depravity of the October 7th terror attack, the deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Quote, "It doesn't matter if effing rapes happened on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me. The Palestinian resistance is not perfect." Now, let that sink in. Hassan Parker is excusing sexual violence by Hamas terrorists. He also claims Hamas is, quote, 1,000 times better than Israel. Hamas is a designated terror organization, not just by the US, but by the EU, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, just to name a few. Some of what.
Okay, so what do you think?
Well, he did say this. I did see the video of this. He also thinks that the babies of settlers are legitimate military targets for Hamas. He has said this on TV famously in the debate with Ethan Klein. Like, I saw this when it happened. Like, this guy is really, really horrible. He said that the Houthis are wonderful. Interviewed a Houthi, no pushback, just praise. Said that he was like Luffy from the famous anime, that he was just like a hero. So that's basically, providing material support in propaganda and marketing for the Houthis, a terrorist organization. I think this guy should be in jail or exiled. I do believe in exile.
Here's a question. People are like, okay, but isn't this a good take by CNN? Like, why is CNN saying this? CNN is saying that this is evil. Hamas is way worse than Israel, and calling out this because people say CNN is bad, but here they seem to have a good take. How do you respond to that?
Well, CNN is like Nick Fuentes, right? And Hassan Piker is like Candace Owens. So they're like, no, you're doing it wrong. You're being too out and open about it. You're saying all the stuff that you're supposed to keep quiet out loud. You're ruining our chances of winning because now our milquetoast candidates are winning in the nominations, but they can't win in the primary. They're being strategic. It's more dangerous.
Okay. Speaking of, here's another thing. I know based on how much I watch these commies and these people, leftist people, I kind of know how they would respond to this, right? So let me play this last part and I'll tell you what they would say to this.
One last thing
is, quote,
let me just make this point and then you could say that. Okay, let me give my point out as well.
1,000 times better than Israel. Hamas is a designated terror organization, not just by the US, but by the EU, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, just to name a few. So their response to this part is like, yeah, we know,
because of the influence of Zionism. This actually proves our point. That you think that we think that the United States is the only country that has a Zionist takeover? You think that we don't know that everyone is compromised? Canada, Australia, Europe, Zionism has its tentacles in all of these countries. That's why. This is what their response would be. And go on, Monkey.
If you are against people like Hassan Piker, right? If you want to know what the polar opposite is of him and you want to support it, the polar opposite of him would be people like Nuxanor, who was a guest of Armin, and the Hermit King Asmongold. Those are the two people who have been most vocal against the type of rhetoric that this man puts out there, and they are the most effective at showing his hypocrisy and the history of his hypocrisy, because these two statements that we're focusing on are just two. He does so many horrible things that using that against the DSA once they get nominated. I don't care if they get nominated. I would rather they get nominated because they're easy to knock out in the general. But like knowing their history is important. The Roach King, yes, Asmongold.
I do. Okay, so here's the thing, Monkey. You said it might not be safe to play Hassan Piker, so I shouldn't play this. It's 19 seconds. Should I not play this?
I would
Only
stop
19
it
seconds.
once in a while.
Okay, I think 19 seconds is basically gets stopped by itself in short amount of time, right? Given that it's 19. Okay, I'll
go for
stop. Okay. This is Hassan Piker talking and Abdul El Sayed, surrogate to a person who said third world countries are run by incompetent government. So he's saying you need to be shut. Oh my God. Okay, let me play this.
You literally need to be in jail. You need to be in prison for the rest of your fucking life. Maybe even fucking shot against the wall. I'm sick and tired of motherfuckers who go, yeah, developing nations deserve to be in the position that they're in because, sorry. No, seriously, fucking capital punishment. You literally.
Okay, so somebody has to be shot because of their opinions, apparently.
Not just the opinion, the opinion that you need to solve your own problem, that we're not supposed to like fund your whole nation.
Jesus Christ, man. This guy's how is, and then yet the DSA candidates are going and being buddy like this is a direct threat of violence. Isn't this a crime? I mean, even United States free speech does not protect this. This is
Which is a biased platform.
No, but
Did you know
forget
that
the
Twitch
community
banned-
guidelines of the platform. It's not just Twitch. The law is against this, even in the United States. No, because this is a direct threat of violence to an individual.
Yeah, this is why I hate the DOJ and people like Pam Bondi who never do anything about this. They never. Did you know that the whole state of Israel was banned on Twitch? All of it, the whole thing. At the same time that Ukraine was going on, because there's a chance that there may be, that it's in a war zone. They let all of Ukraine stay on, they let Russia stay on, but they banned all of Israel. The Twitch safety and guidance team is in Egypt. These people hate Israel. The whole platform. Dan Clancy, the Gunnar Lord, he hates Israel.
By the way, YouTube, we are not we're against this threat. We're just exposing it. We're showing, we're exposing that some other people are threatening other people with a threat of harm. We are not endorsing it. We're just reporting it. We're just reporting that this is happening. Okay. And speaking of, also, we got another super chat by Arash saying Hassan mocked Iran protesters during January massacre. I saw that. I saw that while it was happening. It was so infuriating. I saw that. Thank you, Arash. for reminding of us that. But when it comes to here, the threat of violence. So you saw Noah gave us a super chat earlier today saying this Francesca Hong lady lost, right?
I believe so.
Yes. So this just came out. This is this is a good account, DSA Watch. I'm going to follow this account, DSA Watch. Okay. This is how Hassan Piker responded to that.
We'll be able to lean into their victories, so it'll be less difficult. It'll be easier to deliver our message. It'll be more difficult though because
I'm gonna pause because Hassan Piker might be very sensitive about, they have a whole team hunting down people who are reviewing their content. So I'm gonna pause here to make that more difficult.
Though because the establishment will not underestimate us. They will continue to undermine us, but they will not underestimate us. So the knives will be out.
The knives will be out.
Also, we'll be able to.
So yeah, the knives will be out.
He has a very tiny head, and he's getting fat again. Did you see he framed the picture of 9/11 over there in the background?
No. Where? Oh, wait, is that it?
Yes. And he also has the China flag, the Cuba flag.
Is there a U.S. flag anywhere in the background?
No, he hates the U.S. He openly states that he hates the U.S.
Okay, let's look at here. Oh, do I want to play this one? Okay, this is 3 minutes. Should I play this one, Monkey, or no? What do you think? What's the right strategy?
I think we're gonna get flagged.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this one. Okay, let's go to this guy then. Abdul El Sayed, doctor. He has a doctorate. In what?
Allegedly, I don't know if he's practicing or not.
Like a PhD, I'm assuming. But let's see what he says here.
Michigan Republicans and Independents. I'm Abdul El Sayed, and I just want to introduce myself. I'm a doctor who rebuilt health departments in both Detroit, led Wayne County's health department to do big things. Put glasses on kids, take on corporate polluters, make sure that our kids weren't drinking lead after the Flint water crisis, and eliminate medical debt. Now, I know I'm probably not your first choice for U.S. Senate, but I do want to offer a contrast. Do you remember this version of Mike Rogers?
I think we lost the Georgia 2 Republican Senate seats because of Donald Trump and his chaotic leadership. Well, you're damn right you had responsibility for this. Candidly, the way that campaign was run, I'd be highly suspect that they had an organized plan to do anything.
Well, it seems like that version of Mike Rogers is now doing this.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Thanks for gracing your presence here at the General Motors facility and bringing jobs back.
This is a guy who just was convicted on 34 different counts, and it doesn't seem like it's changed his supporter base. What does that say about his supporter base to continue to...
Can I stop it there 1 second?
Yep.
Yeah, this is 34 counts of bookkeeping. Like the same exact crime Hillary Clinton did in her bookkeeping, but they made 34 counts of the same crime. And for that to be a felony, it needs to have an underlying crime that it's hiding, which was never outlined, which means there are 34 false charges. They're misdemeanors, exactly. We can boing boing is saying in the chat. Bingo, bingo.
Yeah. I think the main point that he's trying to make is that he used to be anti-President Trump and now he's pro-President
Yeah,
Trump.
so was Marco Rubio, so was Vance.
Which is a weird thing to highlight because that's what everybody does in politics. When you're competing against them, you're against them, and then when that's over, you work with each other. Like, what is that? Like, what does that show? What does that show? Like, you guys do the same thing.
Was convicted on 34 different counts, and it doesn't seem like it's changed his supporter base. What does that say about his supporter base to continue to follow in line with someone facing those convictions?
I think it says more about the Democrats and how they're weaponizing the court system than it does about his supporter base.
And well, Donald
like
Trump
that
is
answer.
doing this.
Who's running for the Senate, and he'll be a great senator, and he's going to be a great senator. He was a great congressman, and then he left. He went on to very big things. He did well. They rigged the election on you. Mine was too big to rig.
Here's my commitment to you. I'm not going to show up and lie to you. I don't take corporate money. So I'm not bought by the pharmaceutical industry. I'm not bought by the insurance industry. I'm not bought by the weapons industry. When I say I want to keep your money here, I really want to keep it here. I want to invest it in your kids' schools and your roads and your bridges. I want to make sure that you have health care. And I don't want DTE or Blue Cross Blue Shield or any of the corporations to be able to rig the system to raise prices against you. If you believe in America first, if you believe that we need to be investing here, if you believe that you want politicians who are elected by you and not bought by corporations, I hope that you'll give us a chance.
All right, so you basically want to get the corporations out of our business and get the government into our business by controlling prices. That has always worked out very well for everybody, right, Monkey?
Did you see what he said there? America first. You know who's America first, right? Who sells those hats?
Yeah.
He always
But
had
what do you
that hat
think
next
about
to
my
him.
question?
Nick
But
Fuentes.
first, answer my question. Okay, guys.
Yeah, it never
you
works
guys
out.
had-
What?
Yes. Guys, so let me explain this first before we go to that. But yes, you're right, Monkey. So what he's doing is like, I will keep your prices low instead of letting corporations increase prices. That means that he's going to mess with the market. That means that's going to get the government controlling the level of demand and supply in the market. That means that you're going to have lower prices for the short term, and that means lower supply in the medium term, and therefore higher prices in the long term. But yeah, go on, Monkey.
Well, he's not going to do anything. I think he's just going to lie and let everything degrade and cause more fraud. I think that's the
Yes.
same plan for New York. They're going to create more scam systems and fraud systems and do more payback and trying to infiltrate more into the voter rolls. I think that's their plan. And my larger point is this is a message to Republicans that are America first, that are isolationist. He's playing to isolationists, right? He is
Exactly.
talking a little bit about, because America first has the concern that, oh, we're spending money in war instead of helping the average person's cost. So he is playing into that a little bit, but his main point is that America first point, that isolationist point. Is like, look, I want the US out of the Middle East, you want the US out of the Middle East, and let's work together. That's his olive branch to the isolationists.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But by the way, guys, that Rogers guy seems to be really good, because is this the biggest thing you have against him? That he used to talk against Trump, and now he's talking in favor of Trump?
Like, he could
like
change his
Mikey
mind.
said, that's like Marco. Yeah, like that's like Marco Rubio. That's like everybody. Like, is that the worst thing you have against the guy? Like, if this is the best you could do, that he seemed like a really good candidate.
I want to make one last point
Right.
of this. After the Biden administration, many people came to the belief that, you know what, Trump was right. These people can't hold on to power, because if they do get a little bit of it, they'll go insane with the lawfare and with the open borders.
Right. Okay, I need to use the washroom. Be back in like less than 1 minute, and that means let's listen to Nick Fuentes and his view
At
on
least
what's
it's not
happening
Piers.
right now. At least it's not Piers. Okay, be right back. So-
And so how's that far left, far right alliance going, jackass? How's that going? You got Hassan Piker saying we need to impoverish the white middle class. How's that any better than what any Jew says? I mean, literally, Hassan Piker is a Turk Muslim socialist. He says he wants to impoverish white people. He goes to Minneapolis and throws himself in between ICE and Somali foreigners that are stealing from the welfare state to send to another country. I mean, literally, how is that any better? How is that not worse, actually, than what Shapiro and Mark Levin are saying? I mean, honest to God. He is ostensibly an American and says, I want to impoverish white people. It's the state's sacred right to take white people's stuff and give it to foreign nationals from Africa to send as a remittance
Wait a
to
second.
Somalia.
Wait a second, Nick Fuentes. If that is worse, then you have to say I was wrong, because you said it doesn't get worse than the Jews. You said like the people who are pro-Muslim, the Muslims themselves, and the pro-Muslim leftists, don't let them distract you with that. The main problem is the Jews. And now you're saying, how is that not worse? Isn't that a contradiction from your earlier takes?
Yeah, you know, that little yarmulke, microscopic at this point, is going to grow into a wide brim hat. You'll see. I'm kidding. It probably won't happen.
Yeah.
And people go, we're going to be in an alliance with them? Why? Because they're against Israel? Fuck them. Fuck those people. The DSA, the left. I will never ally with those people. And I said that when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated,
you would never ally with those people. Like, does your audience has a memory of a goldfish? Didn't you say you need to ally with everybody who's anti-Israel? That was your position. You were telling people to go vote for the Democrats.
Check this out. In our previous video, we pointed out that he was saying America first, which is his thing. Like the America first thing, that's his thing. It's not MAGA. His thing is America first. That's isolationism. He doesn't ally with Candace Owens. Candace Owens doesn't say that. I mean, she doesn't say it. If she says it, she says it in passing, not like as a branding thing. Like El Sayed was trying to reach out to his watchers, and he's like rebuking that. He may have changed his mind on whatever, but like he is. I like this retard fight. Let them fight. Yes, let him hate Al Sayed and the DSA.
when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, whatever you think about it, whether you think it was Tyler Robinson or not, here's something that is indisputable that nobody talks about, and this is the checkmate. I know some people still believe it's a conspiracy. I know people think I'm controlled opposition because I don't. Here's what is not in dispute. Whoever murdered Charlie Kirk, whoever pulled the trigger, whatever you think about that, the far left celebrated. Israel didn't make them celebrate. Thousands and thousands of far left people, by all appearances, normal people that you go to work with and your kids go to school with, and they're at the PTA meetings and they're your colleagues and your neighbors. Hundreds, thousands of those people saw a 31-year-old white man get assassinated, publicly executed in front of the world, and they smiled and gleefully laughed and celebrated because they think Charlie Kirk is a Nazi.
So he ain't wrong about this part. Let me tell you what's happening. And some of his audience are turning against him, right? Because Nick Fuentes was saying that Israel did not assassinate Charlie Kirk. And that's low IQ anti-Semitism, Candace Owens stuff, right? So many of his audience turn against him, and by telling him like, oh, okay, Nick Fuentes, you are now believing the FBI? You believe mainstream media now? What happened to you? You used to be cool. Now you're believing whatever the FBI tells you, whatever the state tells you. Okay, sure, Nick Fuentes. And some of his followers are telling him that he must be controlled opposition if he's believing the narrative of the government, right? Now he's saying, like, whatever you think about Charlie Kirk regarding Israel, whether you agree with me on or disagree with me on that, whether you think I'm like fake opposition, what's clear is that the far left celebrated it. That's what he's saying. So obviously,
yes, yeah. But those are third worlders. He shouldn't bow down to them.
They thought socialism sucks. Big Gov sucks guy was a Nazi, and the only solution for him was public execution by a vigilante. That's who we're dealing with. So,
yeah, and Amir is pointing out that yes, Tucker Carlson was also spreading that narrative that Charlie Kirk was killed by Israel.
Fuck those people. I don't want anything to do. And I said it then. I said people that gleefully smile at that want to hurt white people and Christians and Americans, they can have nothing to do with us. I don't care what their position is on Israel. And anyway, so Hassan Piker says, yeah, we're going to impoverish the white middle class. That's awesome. And by the way, that's all these DSA leftards, all of them. The Muslim in Michigan, Al Sayed, Zohran Mamdani, the ones in Denver, the ones that won their primary in New York City. They're all like this. It's all abolish ICE, abolish police, abolish prisons, amnesty for illegals and criminals. And then they want to tax the rich, and they want to redistribute all of the white people's money to the non-white people and the foreigners. And honestly, I don't know how that is any different or any better than the Jewish agenda for our country.
What is the Jewish agenda for your country? Like, what is the Jewish agenda for your country? There's no Jewish agenda for your country. Like, there's an Islamic agenda. There's a communist agenda for your country. There's an Islamic agenda for your country. There is no Jewish agenda for your country. But go on. Yeah, what does Nux call him?
Nux calls him Shlomo Fuentes. It says that Nux says that he's a Mossad agent, secretly being used to show how retarded Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson is by having him fight them. He says it kiddingly, of course, this is a joke, and Michael Feldman saying plot twist, Nick is a Mossad agent. You might be a Nux enjoyer, because that's what he likes to say. We're all joking about this, of course.
Yeah. We got a super chat from Shauna. You want to read that? Yeah, I'll highlight.
Sure. Shauna is saying Trump is nearshoring by building, this is like restructuring plants that we have. Nearshoring by building medical plants and processing plants in old industrial heartland. Rogers is principled about bringing jobs in. Yes, that's important. I also saw that happening in Detroit with the military drone systems. They want to have the facilities that Detroit had for cars that haven't been working too good and have that work for drones. Depends on, the problem with Detroit is that it's always been very left controlled, led to too many regulations, too many taxes, making it difficult for industry. Let's see where that goes.
Okay, so look at this. And thank you, Shana. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
Ilhan Omar wins the Democratic primary in Minnesota, Minnesota's 5th congressional district. I mean, this was to be expected, right? So
yes.
This is not a surprise. Okay. So what are the chances of her winning is she like winning the midterms?
Well, her opposition is a woman also in the Republican side. So it's a woman on woman fight, and her opposition is a Muslim woman. So it's a Republican Muslim woman against a Democrat Muslim woman.
A Republican Muslim woman?
I was going to talk about it yesterday, but it was heated. It got heated yesterday, so I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to get into it.
We were talking about this yesterday. We were saying hypothetically, if we get that. So, Monkey, here's a question. Would you vote for that Republican Muslim woman to keep Ilhan Omar out?
I would absolutely do that. I would like if you look at her history, it's kind of interesting actually. She was she fled the Saddam government, worked for I think it was USA Radio. It's like a Freedom Radio. Like her history is interesting. If you wanna take a look at that, I have Al-Kidi. I don't remember her name too well. I'm trying to find the search I had on her, but I would look up like her biggest competition is interesting one.
What's her? Oh my god!
I'm trying to
wait. Okay. Primary, not the primary. What the hell is? Let me see if I could find the odds. What's her name? Okay, can't find her name. That is crazy. Are you sure? Okay, let me remove this. Okay. I'm going to look more into this because this is an interesting topic if it's true. All right, let me see. I could just bring this up. I don't know why Monkey's not speaking. So Ilhan Omar just won the primary. Okay. Ilhan Omar just won the primary. who is she now going to be against in the midterms? So I'll look it up. Okay, while we'll look that up. And I want to see what her odds are. Guys in the chat, if Ilhan Omar is running as a Democrat Muslim woman in Minnesota's 5th congressional district, and her competition is a Muslim woman, Republican Muslim woman, let me know in the chat. Would you or would you not vote for a Republican Muslim woman to keep Ilhan Omar out of Congress? Let me know in the chat. And here. So Ilhan Omar will face candidate John Nagel. So it's John Nagel. It's not a woman. Monkey.
I'm seeing Dalia Al-Kidi, Iraqi-born Muslim woman and journalist. Unless he won and there was, like yesterday, a primary on the Republican side. Okay, I think like on August 11 primary, she was viewed as the favorite,
but she didn't
but
win.
Yeah, 80%.
Oh no, yeah, Dalia lost the Republican primary. So Dalia Al-Kidi previously ran as a Republican nominee against Representative Ilhan Omar on November 5th, 2024. She ran again in the Republican primary election held on August 2026. So she finished second in the primary. So it would have been, is she Muslim? Okay, so this would have been Muslim versus Democrat Muslim versus Republican Muslim, but she lost the primary.
What I'm seeing here is she fled Saddam Hussein's Iraq, came to the USA as a refugee in the 90s, and she worked as a journalist and counter-extremism advocate. She's secular, strongly pro-Israel, positioned herself as a critic of Islam and Islamism, and of Omar. She considered to be one of the stronger Republican contenders, but this was like I said, this was yesterday when the primaries hadn't been decided. It was between them. Like, still vote for John. We're not against John Nagel. Vote for that guy. But you know, I thought it was interesting because like yesterday she was the favorite.
Okay, so should we do a poll out of like so this is not going to be the case anymore because she lost, but I'm wondering if people in the chat would vote for a Muslim Republican woman to keep Ilhan Omar out of Congress, right? So guys, do you guys want to do a poll to see how many people in the chat would say yes and how many people would say no? So I'm going to make a poll. So, okay. So guys, I started a poll. The question is, would you vote for a Muslim Republican woman to keep Ilhan Omar out of Congress? So if you put a 1 in the chat, that would vote for a yes. So if you put a 2 in the chat, that would vote for a no.
I accidentally voted for both of us. Was I right?
I would vote yes as well. Keeping Ilhan Omar out, yes, I would vote for that. Yeah, so that's fine. So yes for yeah, put a 1 in the chat for a yes, and put a 2 in the chat for a no. I just want to see. But you just read. Okay, so people are saying she's secular. Yeah, she's a secular Muslim. So here, Dalia Al-Kidi is a Muslim immigrant who fled totalitarian rule in Iraq in 1991. She explicitly defines her personal religious background as a secular Muslim. Al-Qaidi built her career as an international journalist and counter-extremism advocate. Her November 2024 campaign against Ilhan Omar was the first U.S. House race between 2 Muslim candidates. She lost the Republican primary election on August 2026 to candidate John Nagel. Okay, so look at this. Wow. So far we got 69% one, 70% yes, 30% no. Interesting. I voted yes. Keeping Ilhan Omar out for sure.
Oh, two of those votes are probably Jew hater and IDF hater.
Yeah, guys, anything to keep Ilhan Omar out, I would vote for that.
If those are your choices, you can't say, well, I'm not going to vote.
Look at this. Somebody saying this is a stupid question. There is no such thing as a secular or moderate Muslim. You are stupid because I didn't even put secular or moderate even in the question. Like there is no such thing as secular or moderate Muslim. That makes it a stupid question. Do you see the word secular or moderate in the question? The question is not stupid. You are stupid.
You're just projecting onto the question.
Yes, I didn't even say whether there's such a thing or not. It says a Muslim Republican. You just butthurt. You don't want to answer. If you don't want to answer, just don't answer. Other people are answering. Somebody saying I'd vote to deport Omar. That's not in the options. Do you see that in the options? You're answering a different poll.
Oh yeah, well you know what? I vote to teleport chocolate cake to my desk right now.
Yes.
Where's the 3?
I mean, if we could add options, I'll choose the option where Marco Rubio is president and Ilhan Omar was never even born. I'll vote for that one. You know what, Monkey? I'll vote for the option that says Islam never happened. How about that? I'll vote for that one.
Oh my God, I'm there with you.
Wow, making
Can
up
you
imaginary
imagine?
options. Yeah. Right.
I mean, I would have never met you, but you'd probably be living in some Persian paradise.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So I think we have all the votes. So let's stop the vote. So okay, stop poll. Okay, so we got the answers. So the question was, would you vote for a Muslim Republican woman to keep Ilhan Omar out of Congress? 70% voted yes and 30% voted no. Cool. All right. Interesting poll.
I
Okay,
wanted
let's
to bring it up yesterday, but it got so heated and we touched on so many topics that I was like, you know what? I'm going to stand firm on import no one, trust no politicians, start exiles.
Right. Oh my gosh, Shana is doing the butterfly effect. Shana is saying if Islam never happened, we probably wouldn't have America. You know, this is the butterfly effect. Like if
Yeah.
you kill Hitler, then things might even get worse. I don't know. If you killed Hitler as a baby, none of us would be born. None of us would be alive today if you killed Hitler as a baby. Butterfly effect.
You wouldn't have Marines, that's for sure.
Yes. Yes. All right, let's watch this. This is another campaign video of this Abdul El Sayed guy.
We're going to keep our tax dollars here at home instead of sending them abroad to fight wars we have no business fighting.
Yeah, but wars we have no business fighting. You have no business killing your enemies, the people who have promised and are determined to destroy America.
Look at that
It's not
sign.
US's business. It's not US's business. It's not the US business to go and eliminate the people who wish Americans harm. Okay, that's none of your business, apparently.
Check the sign out. Elect Democrats. They don't even show his name.
Wow. Yes.
And we're finally going to meet the unmet promise of guaranteeing every single person in this country the health care they need and deserve through Medicare for all.
Yeah, more government. Yay! More government is the solution. All empirical data shows that when you get more government, everything gets better and cheaper and more efficient. Yay!
I ask you, well, doctor, how you gonna pay for that? I don't know. Maybe instead of 200.
Oh, I know. Eat the rich. I mean, tax the rich. Tax the rich. Do not. Yeah.
Maybe instead of $252 billion to a rogue agency like ICE, maybe we can actually keep our money here to provide healthcare here.
Oh yeah, instead of spending money on what the government is supposed to do, which is securing your borders and protecting people, instead of spending your taxpayers on things that actually the government is designed to do, let's spend it on the things that the government is not designed to do and it's not efficient at all. The things that every time the government gets involved with makes it worse. Let's spend more on that, and let's spend it less on the things that protect citizens. Yay, that's a great idea. Woo,
We
let's
have
go
like a
for that.
trillion in fraud.
Yes.
He doesn't care about that
Save-
because that money's going to
No.
the Leering Center.
True.
Here. We can have a secure border. We can enforce immigration policy, but we can do it without shooting people in the face or the back of the head.
What? ICE shoots people in the back of the head? ICE is defending itself against hostile people who are attacking ICE agents while they're trying to do their job. That's self-defense. Back of the head.
Yes.
Maybe we keep our money here instead of fighting a war we got no business fighting.
Oh yeah, no business fighting. The Islamic Republic did not declare war against the United States. They haven't been chanting death to America. They haven't been trying to build a nuclear bomb. They haven't been trying to develop biological weapons against the United States. They haven't promised that one day they're going to destroy the United States. They haven't been killing more Americans than any other regime ever out there that exists today. No business, nothing to do with America.
Raising our gas prices to $5 a gallon.
Yeah, your gas prices are up, as Monkey says, because of your regulations, because of your taxes that you collect on the grasses. If you're against high gas prices, how about you remove those? How about you remove the regulation? How about you reduce the taxes?
Burning our
Armin
tax
is all
dollars.
fired up.
Burning our tax dollars to teach the Ayatollahs that they have a choke point on the world's energy supply.
Yeah, the Ayatollahs already knew that, but they had already plans for that. If you were being honest with people, because I know you know this, they had this plan to do this 10 years ago. They had details planned. This is not something they discovered. They already knew this 10 years ago. We were told about it. We were told by the Islamic Republic that this is a power that they have. And one way or another, that we're going to do this. They just, what President Trump did with this attack is revealed that they were going to do this anyways. And guess what? We did it in a way at a time where we could actually do something about it. If they increase their deterrence capabilities in nuclear, biological weapons, and other deterrents, eventually they would have done it without you being able to do much about it.
Or he doesn't even know how to get out of because he shouldn't have gotten into it in the first place.
Yeah, we should just ignore threats. We should just ignore our enemies growing and growing and growing to the point that we can't do anything about it. Sure. Okay. Anyways, anything you want to add, Benki?
I'm enjoying you being all fired up. I'm glad you're feeling better. It's a lot of energy right now. Great thing to see. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I want all of you in the chat to be as fired up as Armin is right now, and remember to get out there and vote.
Guys, keep this disease out of your country. Go vote against this garbage. I say this to you as an Iranian. I say this to you as this Iranian. This is the disease that took over our country. This is the disease that took over our country. Be warned. Don't sit back. Go out and vote. Save your country.
How does that make you feel? Is asking Noah. How does seeing this piece of shit trying to get up to power in America? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel that if you don't act, your country is going to look more like the UK pretty soon. Okay, look at this. There are more than 500 mosques in London, but they choose to pray on the grounds of Westminster Abbey, the most sacred site in the Anglican Church. Why? Why, Monkey? Given that there's so many mosques in London, why do you think in London they decide to come and pray here?
Because they want to impose themselves. They want to dominate. It's a show of, why is there someone taking a picture of this? Why are they taking videos of this? If all you cared was about your prayer, you would just do your prayer. but you made sure you did it in a place where it would be seen. You know what happens if you do this in Saudi Arabia? You think you could just pray in the streets, pray like they don't let you do that. You can't just stop traffic, and what these people often do to take pictures. They don't do that in any Muslim country. You don't see this in any Muslim country because it's part of a show of force and intimidation.
Yep, this is an announcement that this is a takeover of public areas. They're creeping everywhere. This is not about a private religion, a private worship, a relationship with God or anything like that. This is about a global takeover. This is an invasion. That's what it is. That's what they did in New York, by the way. In what is it called? And what is that square called? I forgot. Anyways,
Times
you know
Square?
what I'm talking about? Times Square, yes. Times Square. They did that demonstration there. There's mosques in New York, but they all came out to, this is not by the way, this is not just a message to Westerners and non-Muslims that we're taking over your streets. It's also a message to Muslims outside of the UK that look at what we're doing. Look how we're spreading. Like, it's a message that we're dominating. We're taking over the West.
Do you know that Christians are against this?
Everybody should be against this.
No. But like even like Muslim, like Christians would be against Christians doing.
Oh, okay.
Because like they say, the people who do big prayers in front of everybody, they're getting their blessing. They're making their virtue signal. You already got your reward. You're not going to get what you prayed for because you did it in public so everybody would see you. So that's what you're going to get. Everybody seeing you. You're not going to get your prayers answered. You're going to get what you wanted, everyone to see you. If you want God to answer your prayers, do it in private or in church, like wherever, like, you do it together in church, but doing it like this very, very publicly in Christianity is seen as very, how shall I say, they don't like virtue signal. Like virtue signaling is not is not seen well in Christianity.
Mikey, you know where this is going? They're doing this outside, but they want to be able to do this inside eventually. Inside the church.
The king would let them.
Hmm.
He's not the guardian of the faith anymore. He's now the guardian of the faiths, plural.
Yeah. Shauna, thank you for the super chat, saying, notice his speech pattern. He's mimicking Obama. Oh my God, you're so right. He was mimicking Obama. You're so
He's
right.
absolutely right.
Absolutely right. Let me just play a little bit of it.
We're going to keep our tax dollars here at home instead of sending them abroad to fight wars we have no business fighting.
Oh my God, you're so right, Shana. I just noticed that. You're right. Okay. Good observation.
The team of Obama is Hakeem Jeffries. He always fails at it. There's a few that are more successful at it.
Okay. Look at this. This is what we talked about yesterday. Now they're talking about it as well. President Trump, you really like this. President Trump declaring national emergency to control midterm elections if his voting bill is not passed. So they're concerned about it, but we are happy about it if he actually does do this. Look at this.
In all of this is we're having a normal election conversation in an abnormal time, but we're talking about who's going to win and who's going to lose. I just want to remind everybody about what Trump said earlier today in that interview with Wayne Allen Root. Let me just play it again.
If they never get the Save America Act done, you have the right to declare a national security emergency for elections.
Let me
You don't
just say
even
that
need
stranger
the
things
Senate
have
vote.
happened. Okay, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. We live in dangerous times, and that's just the latest sign. Because the president...
That is not that would be saving us from the danger. What are you talking
The
about?
United States just left the door open to calling a national emergency to affect the election outcome. That just happened in the United States.
Affected by not letting illegals vote. That's a positive way of affecting it.
America. And we've gotten a little numb to it. We say that a lot. But that should wake everybody wide awake. because they've already been taking action.
What should have made you wide awake is the illegals voting. That's what should make you wide awake.
To meddle in elections, right? They've been threatening to withhold
Meddle in elections, maybe protecting the elections.
to meddle in elections, right? They've been threatening to withhold, Jake Tapper's done a lot of reporting on the U.S. Postal Service saying they're not going to let mail-in ballots. They're going to try to withhold funds. They're still, he's still whinging about the 2020 election on the basis of precisely nothing. And now he's getting a sort of a teed up question about calling a national emergency to impact the elections. And he leaves the door
Impact, you mean protect, you mean saving it from illegal votes.
wide open.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
And a lot of people have say, oh, well, he's just saying this.
Yeah. Nope.
He's just saying this. They're not really going to do it.
I think
They're
we
not
should
really
take
gonna
Trump
do
at
it.
his word here
They're not gonna, yeah.
because his actions have proven his seriousness on this front. Election denial is a
I hope he does
consistency, a feature of Donald Trump's politics, and so is the creating the pretense for said denial. His speech that he gave in Washington about supposed threats wasn't some serendipitous act. It was him laying the groundwork for what we can see in November. And so I think we should see these midterms elections as one where Donald Trump will be the main character. We've been in this primary fight of progressive versus moderate, and certainly Republicans are going to try to make the focus on progressives, but Donald Trump has an obsession with the spotlight, and he will take his radicalism
I mean,
to
they're
center
trying to
stage.
get the voter to doubt the integrity of our election system. And of all the things this president could be working on, this is not it.
And remember, Trump's 25% with independents. He is deeply unpopular. When you're in that position, you either don't care or you try to find another way to win.
That's right.
What kind of panel is this? You don't have any opposition here? Like when we were watching Jesse Waters' panel on Fox News, he had a Democrat sitting next to him that was against Jesse Waters. That's what he had on his panel. What is this? Is this a circle jerk? Like, what is the point of this panel? Nobody's going to do a pushback against any of these points.
Fox tends to have two. He's not going to do it. Like, I pray to God every day, please give me a Trump that is at least 1/10 the authoritarian that these people say he is. But it never happens. Like, I wish. He's too much of a pussy to do this. He's too much of a Democrat to do this. He's scared. I don't know why. I would have done it. I would have done it so long ago. I would have declared it the day that he had all that evidence. I would have started DOJ busting down doors using the Senate hearing we just did to treat CARE as a terrorist organization, start the RICO Act, go into all these investigations, start arresting some of the CNN motherfuckers, their executives. I'd be arresting every corporation that had immigrants illegally working for them. I would have so many people in fucking jail that you would not believe it. Like, I would go full scorched earth. Like, they would not dare. They would not fucking dare. I'd have so many people in California arrested. I'd have the governor of California arrested. I'd have the governor of Michigan arrested. I'd have Ilhan Omar in bars. I'd have Ilhan Omar in Guantanamo for marrying her brother to bring him in. They're too soft.
Okay. Somebody in the chat is saying it's CNN. What did you expect, Armin? Hey, I didn't expect anything else, but I'm still gonna react the way I am. Like when I play Hassan Piker, I'm still gonna, if he says something retarded, I'm still gonna react to it the way I do, even if I didn't expect anything else from him.
Can I make a recommendation? Watch Armin's old reactions to Piers Morgan. You're gonna hear a lot of screaming.
Yeah, people think that I expected something else from CNN. Like, you don't know me if you think that. Amy with a super chat. Thank you so much for thank you so much, Amy, for the support. Saying if Christians show up outside of a mosque in Dearborn, they are not welcome. The bikers from, do you want to read this? I don't know how to pronounce this. Turkis?
Bikers from Sturgis are going down to Dearborn for the city council meeting on August 18th to advocate for Christians. I guess we'll see how that goes. Oh, shit. Okay, so Sturgis is like a biker meeting, but the thing about that biker meeting is sometimes biker gangs go, and white banker gangs are like notoriously dangerous, and it's like a prison gang. Like the white guys don't get along with everybody else. Well, these are like the biker guys that that hard. Think of Hell's Angels. You ever heard of them?
Yes.
Kind of like that. Like having them work as security for the Christians.
So Christian activists and Sturgis bikers are assembling at the Dearborn City Council meeting on August 18th to demand equal religious speech rights. The demonstration responds to past viral altercations with city officials on September 9th, 2025, and street clashes on July 5th, 2026. Ooh, this is something that, thank you, Amy, for telling us this is something that we should pay attention to. Keep an eye on that, guys, and see. Monkey, let's try to remember this. So the so biker groups returning from the Sturgis rally are organizing. Okay, yeah, this action follows a viral September 9th, 2025 confrontation where Mayor Abdullah Hamoud told a Christian pastor he was not welcome. What? Subsequent rallies and protests in November 2025 and July 2026 led to heated public clashes and legal charges. Demonstrators seek to defend Christian constitutional rights to assemble peacefully and speak out at municipal meetings. Okay, thank you for letting us know, Amy. That's important. All right, and mostly veterans, Aaron is saying. So,
yes, there's a lot of them that are not in a gang, but they are veterans.
All right, Monkey. So we have just a few more minutes, and I really want to play this one as well. Oh no, I can't. This is 4 minutes long. We don't have enough time. So never mind that. Guys, we're gonna have to go because we only have 1 hour to our group call. Guys, we have daily group calls in our group discussion. The link is in the chat. The link is in the QR code. The link is in the description. Monkey, will you be there today? No, today you can't, right? But tomorrow probably will make it, right?
I may go in at the end. I have to do something today at school. Not my school, the kids' school. But
Yes,
if I get out early, I'll drop by.
All right, so I have only 2 more minutes to say this. So, guys, we have daily group calls in our group discussion. So, join us there. If you don't want to join, watch us have our group calls. They're watching it. You could watch it on the live sections of Liberty Politics. We broadcast our discussions there live on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to Liberty Politics. And please like this video, guys. Liking these streams really helps us grow. Thank you to everybody who's already liking. And if you subscribe to Liberty Politics, don't forget to also hit the bell notification so YouTube actually tells you when we go live. So that's all happening in 1 hour from now. And other than that, also, please subscribe to Monkey's channel. He's at 841. We're trying to get him to 1,000 subscribers. I'll put the link in the chat for you guys to subscribe to the Monkey's channel as well. And I also put the link to our group discussion where we have daily group calls in the chat as well. All right, so that was us. We're gonna go get, the monkey was removed. Okay, we're gonna go get something to eat and get ready for our group call, and then I'll get updated on the news while I eat. And until then, Monkey, you want to add anything, or are we good?
Let's try to get to 8:45.
8:45. He needs 4 subscribers to get there. All right, guys. See you guys in 1 hour. And until then, I'm Israel Chai, Slava Ukraine, Cuba Libre, Taiwan GIO, Long Live America, Javid Shah, Payande, Iran. Mwah.
Peace.
Peace.